Part 163. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 1622. Zhang Chen and Xiao Wu originally just received a call from the second-hand dealer and came to Songjiang. However, after arriving in Songjiang, because Zhang Chen approved the land and the local government also wanted the matter to be finalized as soon as possible, the two parties agreed to sign the contract the next day. Protocol. In this way, Zhang Chen and the others would not be able to leave after they arrived. Instead, Tan Shehen and Lao Tan would have to come early the next morning with the official seal of Zhang Chen and his company. Zhang Chen knew that the reason why the local government asked them to build the new logistics space before the end of October was because they saw that it only took Zhang Chen and the others a few months to build their current logistics space. A logistics space has been built, thinking that they have the ability and strength. Lao Tan and Tan Shehen are coming tomorrow to help them plan the construction of a new logistics space. Tan Shehen and Zhang Chen said, "You should stop running around. You are not a donkey. You will come back this evening and go there again tomorrow morning." Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Yes, thank you for your hard work." Zhang Chen and Xiao Wu stayed in Songjiang for the night. They stayed at the Reeton Hotel in Thames Town. The hotel was small, but it was a 4-star hotel. It was considered a relatively good hotel in Songjiang at that time. There were not many people staying in the hotel, which was not surprising. There were no people in the entire Thames town at that time, and the British style was all there. Apart from the crowds who come to take wedding photos every day, there are no other people in the streets and English-style villa areas. The hotel room is very large. From the window of the room, you can see an artificial lake and a trestle in the back, connected to an artificial island. There is a circular 2-story building above which is a restaurant. Zhang Chen, Xiao Wu, and the three of us had dinner here, and there were only 3 tables for them in the restaurant. Standing on the terrace in front of the restaurant, you can see Sheshan Mountain not far away, a small earthen bag with a height of 100 meters, but it is the highest mountain in Shanghai. This made Zhang Chen and Xiao Wu, 2 people who came from the mountainous area of western Zhejiang, "Man, I had a lot of fun." During the meal, Huo was very excited. He told Zhang Chen, "Instructor, when the new logistics space is built, I will be very successful here. That base will be 4 times larger than the current one. I figured it all out." Zhang Chen didn't want to hear it, but Huo still insisted on telling him the calculations one by one, how much he could earn per month for renting out the warehouse, how much he could earn per month for renting out the dormitory building, the canteen at the logistics space, how much money can they earn every month by helping to deliver, load and unload goods. After calculating how much money they can earn every month, Zhang Chen was surprised. It turned out to be a huge amount of income. It is impossible for Zhang Chen not to hear it. A logistics space can make him a net profit of more than 100 million a year. You must know that the investment in infrastructure of a logistics space is very economical. It is even more economical than the investment Zhang Chen and the others invested in building a factory. Secondly, amortized over 10 years of depreciation, the cost is less than 10 million per year, which is really very low. Zhang Chen asked the second guy if he had made a mistake in his calculations. "Of course not. I'm forced to calculate these numbers every day. How could I be wrong? I only count less, not more," said the second-hand guy. The second-hand guy turned around and asked Zhang Chen for another calculation. This time, Zhang Chen listened carefully. Every calculation made by the second-hand guy was flawless. After finishing the calculation, Zhang Chen had to admit that this was so damn bad for him. It's another M-zone, but think about it. The nature of this logistics space is very similar to M-zone. They are all rental houses, and they mainly rely on rental income. The most important thing is that it is a one-time investment, and then there will be returns every day. As for the daily management staff and security guards, their wages and bonuses are all included in the property fee, and they are charged separately every month, including the electricity bill for street lights and the water fee for public toilets, which are also included in the utility bill. The daily expenses collected are almost nothing. The wool comes from the sheep and is distributed to each tenant. As for the loading and unloading team and the fleet responsible for distribution, because it is a unique business, it can bring them huge profits. Damn it, Zhang Chen sighed in his heart. He had always cared about setting up factories and never paid attention to the logistics space. Although Xiao Zhao had told him many times when he was alive that second-hand goods were very profitable, but Zhang Chen I never took it to heart. I thought it was just making a little money, but I didn't take it seriously. I didn't expect that this business of making small money could, after being enlarged, make a lot of money. A logistics space is really more profitable than a factory, although it may have a different meaning to Zhang Chen. He has always regarded making clothing as his own business, whether it is a dynamic zone or a logistics space. In his all I have in mind is side hustle. Zhang Chen seemed to suddenly have an idea. He thought that in business, the garment factory was the place where he spent the most effort but brought the lowest benefits. To be honest, he has a special liking for clothing, which is simply because he started his career through clothing, and everything that happened later was because of making clothing, so he regarded it as his career. From Erhuo's point of view, he must think that logistics is his career, and he indeed regards it as his own career and pursues it tirelessly, so that he can build a logistics space in such a stylish way. If you talk to a second-rate guy about clothes, he will definitely look blank. Zhang Chen thought again that people can only look at the outside world through their own window. This sounds a bit awesome and seems to be right, but in fact, there is a big blind spot in it, that is, why do people look at the outside world? The world must pass through your own window? Why should we not let the world return to its original state through ourselves? From this, Zhang Chen thought of the methodology and the difference between Chinese and Western perspective methods. Western painting, starting from Leonardo da Vinci, has locked everyone in focal perspective. The so-called focal perspective is to focus on the human eye. Everything that can be seen is divided into distance, front and back, height, length and size. The same two houses, the one closer in the picture is always taller than the one far away. In order to pursue this kind of world in his eyes, Turner once tied himself to a mast to watch the wind and waves on the sea. He believed that only through such observation and then presenting the results of this observation on the canvas, this painting reflects the world is real and objective. All Western painters always have an eye in their paintings. Eye is indispensable. Eye overlooks the world from God's perspective, just like God looks down on us. Like all living beings, Eye is above the entire painting, always quietly looking down at the world in the painting. The pity, love, and hate of my are omnipresent in the painting. Although there is no trace, they control everything and dominate everything. The entire world in the painting starts from me and finally returns to me. When the audience looks at a painting created in this way, they will naturally enter the world of me and become me. In Chinese painting, what is emphasized is scattered perspective, that is, polycenter, with the event or the world itself as the center, and the my perspective disappears in the picture. The long scroll or hand scroll of Chinese painting itself makes it impossible for you to see everything at a glance. How can you see the entire picture from my eyes? In the face of this methodology, the world can only be restored to its original appearance as much as possible. Rather than the way I see it. Along the river during the Qingming festival, the people at one end of the market are the same size as the people at the other end. In Da Vinci's view, this would probably drive him crazy. It is unimaginable and unobjective and scientific. You can only look from one end or the other. How can you look at both ends, the middle, and countless heads? If we restore the world to its original appearance, we will no longer be able to see the whole world. Therefore, in Chinese landscape paintings, people are always small particles, very insignificant. When facing the world, they are either dull or casual. Posture, people are not interested in conquering nature. This is very different from the world of Koro or Pissarro. Their world has been transformed by them and is no longer the original world. This is the same in Chinese music. Most of Chinese music is descriptive and simulated. The so-called artistic conception is to bring you to that world and let you see and feel it yourself, rather than telling you anything for you to accept. After thinking so far and thinking about it again, Zhang Chen felt that from the perspective of a businessman, he was very unqualified. If he was a qualified businessman, he would be profit-oriented and use profit as the only criterion. Only by measuring everything you do with this scale can you discover real business opportunities. Zhang Chen felt that he had discovered a real business opportunity now. He only discovered it when he listened to the second-hand guy talking non-stop and calculating the accounts for him one by one. He feels that everyone has been talking about scarce resources, some are rare and others are scarce, but no one has thought that this logistic space is the real scarce resource. Maybe they are too inconspicuous. Even the local government, which has always been attracting investment, is not willing to recruit a logistic space. The investment density per unit land of the logistic space is too small. This was an accident for them. The main purpose at that time was to free them up. That church. Erhuo is right. Every city must have one or even several logistic spaces. The more a city develops, the more dependent it is on logistic spaces. In the past, in Hangzhou, large trucks could enter the city after 10 o'clock in the evening. It's 24 hours a day now, and no big trucks can enter the city at any time. Large trucks cannot enter the city. What will happen to the supplies that are consumed in the city every day? It can only be transferred through the logistic space, and through their fleet of small vehicles. The goods that are transported over long distances of 10 tons and 20 tons can be distributed to every corner of the city like ants moving. Such a base cannot be too far from the city. If it is too far, you will have to make secondary connections and transfers. This kind of base is different from their factory. There is no way to rush things away. If they are all driven away, the city will be paralyzed. Moreover, with the development of real estate and the increasing scarcity of urban land resources, such logistic spaces will become more and more precious. Every city has to have them, but for city managers, they are really reluctant to take them. If so much land is used as a logistic space, it can only be continuously compressed. The more compressed it is, the scarier it will become. Zhang Chen can almost tell that before long, every city will face a dilemma, that is, warehouses will be more scarce than office buildings and housing, and you will be hard-pressed to find one. Second goods, what if you expand the scale of the logistic space? Zhang Chen asked Erhuo. Expand it further? You're forced to do it? Instructor, where do you want to expand it? Can you draw one for me on paper? The idiot chuckled. What about Hangzhou? What do you think if there is such a logistic space near Hangzhou? Zhang Chen said with a smile. No matter what, if you are forced to raise someone, you can still make money, instructor, the second-rate guy shouted. Okay, then let's go to Hangzhou and get one, Zhang Chen said. Really? Erhuo asked. Zhang Chen nodded and said, really, Brother Tan is coming tomorrow. I'll ask him. He is very familiar with the land situation in Hangzhou. Thank you Zenki and Quadratic VC for the reward of 2 fishes at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you for your monthly passes from Zenki, Kankan Shanshui, Dragon, Lao Shenza Sang, Zipanjiang 1, Dora Eamon, Zongkai 727, and Crush Killer VIP. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1623. Tan Shahen and Lao Tan arrived in Songjiang at around 10 o'clock the next morning. Zhang Chen took them to see the land. They also felt that if 200 acres of land could be replaced by 800 acres, It would be a good deal. Although both sides of the highway, the land price difference will be huge, and it will get bigger and bigger, Tan Shahan said, because this is a university town, and it is also determined by the subway station connecting the main urban area of Shanghai. The main reason for determining the price of land in the suburbs now is how far you are from the subway station. This will be the case in Hangzhou in the future. Subway housing is similar to housing in school districts, Tan Shahan said. Zhang Chen, you have no other ideas here. You just want to be a logistic space, right? Tan Shahan asked Zhang Chen after the three people got in the car. Zhang Chen said, no, I now feel that the logistic space is a gold mine, and it is an endless gold mine. No matter how much you can earn from developing a project, it is a one-stop business. The logistic space can continue to flow. Land brings wealth. Zhang Chen told Tan Shahan and Lao Tan the accounts he had settled with him yesterday. He also told them his own thoughts. Both of them agreed with Zhang Chen's thoughts. Tan Shahan said. Moreover, the good thing about this logistic space is that the land itself will increase in value along with the increase in surrounding land. The increase in land value can completely offset the decrease in value of the buildings on the ground. It sounds like a business without capital. Zhang Chen, it is true that the logistic space you said is being compressed. The original railway freight yard and the large parking lot in Shiqiao are now being demolished. The land there has been turned into real estate land. There are indeed fewer and fewer warehouses. Lao Tan said. Zhang Chen is right. It turns out that the department store warehouse where I first bought a sewing machine has been demolished. The department store used to have many warehouses in Hangzhou, but they were all demolished. Now there is a strange phenomenon that the city consumes. There are more and more items in the warehouse, and the demand for warehouses should be increasing. But thanks to your real estate developers, more and more items are being demolished, and the demolition is getting more intense. Tan Shahan and Lao Tan both laughed, and Tan Shahan said. Zhang Chen, let me continue your indignation. The land in our Jiangkan village turned out to be the largest warehouse of Hangzhou department store in Hangzhou. Zhang Chen then talked about the idea of building such a large logistic space near Hangzhou. Lao Tan said that the only way to go is to Jubao. Jubao now has land, and a large area there used to be military land. The procedures for converting the army into civilians have been completed, and now it has become a market center. Many new markets have been built. If you can find a piece of land there, it will be just right. Tan Shahan also knows that place. She said, it turns out that the Hangzhou city government wanted to move the Sijiking clothing market there, but the difficulty and resistance were too great. It didn't succeed. What was moved there was just an east bus station. The car drove back to Erhuo's logistic space. Zhang Chen and Lao Tan got out of the car. Tan Shahan sat motionless. She shook the phone in her hand and said to Zhang Chen, you guys go in first and I'll learn about Jubao case. Zhang Chen nodded and went in first with Lao Tan. After more than 10 minutes, Tan Shahan walked in, shook her head at Zhang Chen and said, let me ask clearly, the land of more than 10 square kilometers in Jubao, all the way to Jiaosi, has indeed gone through the procedures for military conversion, but where at present, the land is not allowed to be sold, it can only be rented, and its purpose is to undertake urban supporting facilities. The logistic space should be considered a supporting facility in the city, right? Zhang Chen said, it can also be rented out. It can be calculated, and this part of the land, as long as the new policy comes out, there is a high possibility that it can be rented and resold. The trouble is that it is not yet completely in the hands of the local government. If you want to rent it, you can only ask the military region rent, there is nothing we can do about it. I have no acquaintances over there in the military region, Tan Shahan said. Zhang Chen nodded, and Lao Tan said, if Jubao doesn't work, we have to go to Fuyang or Yuhang and Haining. In the suburbs of Hangzhou, there are hundreds of acres of land. No one will be willing to use it as a logistic space for you. Even if it is available, it is not cost effective. The land near Hangzhou is very expensive through auction. If you buy it as a logistic space, you won't be able to get your money back in 100 years. Tan Shuhen said, it's better to wait until we go back to find connections. If the land in Jubeo can be rented, it would be the most cost effective. Now the land in the market is rented and is waiting for policy adjustments in the future. Zhang Chen said yes. In the afternoon of the same day, Zhang Chen signed a land replacement agreement and a demolition agreement for the logistics space with the local government. Here at Laotan, people were arranged to move in the next day and demolish the old factories first, as well as landfill and demolition of the swamps. Prospecting. After the signing ceremony, Laotan stayed with Erhuo, and Zhang Chen, Tan Shuhen, and Xiao Wu went back to Hangzhou. Before arriving in Hangzhou, Zhang Chen received a call from Lu Qing. Lu Qing told her that the station had confirmed that one person's history of oil painting would be filmed just like the first episode. She hoped that Zhang Chen would go to Beijing as soon as possible and start immediately. The second episode will be filmed, and the station will prepare to launch the series before the year. Zhang Chen said okay, then I will come over tomorrow. Zhang Chen hung up the phone. Tan Shuhen looked at him and kept laughing. Zhang Chen was surprised and asked, why are you laughing? You are really busy. Have you not been this busy for a long time? Tan Shuhen asked. Zhang Chen said yes, it was true. He thought that after finishing his work here in Luqing and returning to Hangzhou, it would be the Spring Festival, which was the opening day of the Andy Warhol Works exhibition. There was no way he could stop during this Spring Festival. After the Spring Festival, the theater in Yongcheng was about to be demolished again, and the people from the theater troupe were also coming back. The theater troupe was adjusting. Even if she didn't want to go, Tan Shuhen would drag her there. Zhang Chen and Tan Shuhen said, don't drag me into the troupe's affairs. Anyway, you have a company in Yongcheng and you are going to go there. How about you take care of it all by yourself? What a beautiful idea, Tan Shuhen said, and Xiao Wu laughed while driving. Zhang Chen looked at Tan Shuhen and cursed, Tan Shuhen, you are unreasonable. You are the one who dragged me into this situation due to the troupe's restructuring. Don't come here, Tan Shuhen said. Who proposed the demolition plan of the movie theater? It was not me who pulled you into trouble, but Ding Begu. Nonsense, Xiao Wu is here too. Ask Xiao Wu to tell me if I don't even want to see Ding Begu. You dragged me to see him. If I don't even want to see Ding Begu, how can I come back? There are so many things about Xiao Wu, don't you think so? Zhang Chen shouted. Xiao Wu just drove the car and kept laughing, without saying yes or yes. Tan Shuhen laughed and said, okay, Zhang Chen, even if I harmed you, I am a harmer, okay. That's right, even when you came to Yongcheng, it was me who dragged you to help me. I admit that I was the one who harmed you. Okay. Zhang Chen said, it is. However, Zhang Chen, think about it, that theater troupe, where is Lao Gui? It was inconvenient for me to say a lot now that Nanan has gone, it is even more inconvenient for me to say more. There is also Su Jianmei who is eyeing him. You want to, what can I do when I arrive at the troupe? Tan Shuhen said, remembering it, and cursed, by the way, when Nanan goes to the theater troupe, you are always the one who is causing trouble, huh, I haven't settled the score with you yet. Zhang Chen chuckled. He thought that Tan Shuhen was right. It would not be easy to handle the troupe's affairs all by herself. Brother Chen, I think you should be more involved in the troupe's affairs. Everyone in the troupe will listen to you. Whether it's Lao Gui or Su Jianmei, your words are more effective than Sister Zhen. Xiao Wu suddenly said. That's right, did you hear that? Xiao Wu said that. Tan Shuhen said with a smile. Okay, Zhang Chen sighed, it's really unlucky. I finally got out of the troupe back then. Why did I somehow end up jumping in again? Tan Shahen and Xiao Wu laughed. Yongcheng is a place of right and wrong, Tan Shahen said. I am also worried. What's wrong? Zhang Chen asked. He's not that Mr. Feng yet. Not only do I dislike him more and more, but the people below also come to me every day to report, Tan Shahen said. Because of his brother-in-law, I can't just open the door directly, got him. Zhang Chen thought for a moment and said that there was actually a way. What can I do? Tan Shahen asked quickly. You transfer him away from Yongcheng. When he leaves Yongcheng, the relationship with his brother-in-law will naturally be interrupted, and he will not be able to cause trouble. And in this way, you will not offend his brother-in-law, Zhang Chen said. Tan Shahen nodded and said, it's a good idea, but in my group, every carrot is a pit. There aren't many carrots, there aren't any pits, and there's no suitable position for him. Stupid, you don't know how to make trouble for others, Zhang Chen scolded. What do you mean? Tan Shahen asked. Establishing a department and giving him a false position sounds nice, but it has no actual power. Transferring him here sounds like he is being promoted, but in reality his power is completely reduced, Zhang Chen said. That's right, Zhang Chen, you are already good at conspiracy, Tan Shahen said with a smile. Have you watched too many palace dramas? Go away, I never look at it, Zhang Chen said. Tan Shahen thought for a moment and said, yes, I have a solution. What can we do? Zhang Chen asked. Between Yongcheng and the group company, there is still one Hangcheng branch, Tan Shahen said. How about I transfer him to be the deputy general manager of the Hangcheng branch? Does it sound like he has been promoted? Zhang Chen said yes, but he is the only one in your Hangzhou branch. Where, I originally wanted to set it up, Tan Shahen said. Now our focus has shifted downwards. The Hangcheng area has always been our key area. The establishment of this branch will just bring the entire Hangcheng area to the next level, take care of all projects. Where's the general manager? Zhang Chen asked. If you don't have a strong general manager of the branch, don't make things worse and make him really become the mother-in-law below. I transferred Yingying back, Tan Shahen said. Nowadays, first-tier cities like Nanjing are no longer our focus. It would be a pity to put Yingying in Nanjing. I want to transfer her back to Hangzhou to become a branch in Hangzhou, the general manager of the company. This is okay, Zhang Chen said. Yingying can suppress him. Thank you Quadratic VC for the reward. Thank you to the Hydrogen Oxide Disinfection Knowledge Bureau, WXD121, and the monthly pass to see the landscape. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1624. Zhang Chen and the others returned to Hangzhou. Xiao dropped Zhang Chen downstairs in the dynamic zone and drove Tan Shahen back to Qiashi Academy. Zhang Chen went upstairs. As soon as he walked into the office, he saw Wenwen kneeling on the executive chair, leaning forward on the desk, her face almost touching the computer screen. Wenwen looked up and looked up. He cursed dissatisfiedly, "Come in without knocking, I knew it must be you." Zhang Chen laughed. Wenwen called to him, come on, come and review our results." Zhang Chen walked over, and Wenwen opened the web pages page by page for him to see. Zhang Chen didn't expect that he only stayed out for 2 nights. He was very busy during these 2 nights. The night before he was with Jian Fang, Li Yang, and the others were together. The last night, they had been chatting with Huo and Xiao Wu. He didn't surf the internet much, but he didn't expect that Xiangnan's news was everywhere on the internet. "Did you see that a new internet celebrity has been born, and the limelight is about to surpass yours?" Wenwen said proudly. "When the exclusive interviews in newspapers and magazines come out, you can become famous again. After reading it, Zhang Chen said, it's really like this. I don't want the limelight. It's best for Xiangnan's limelight to surpass me quickly. Tisk, hypocrisy. When that time comes, you will feel lost again. Wenwen cursed, but her hands were not idle. She kept clicking on page after page and shouted. Look, do you see it? Xiangnan, now she has more than 5 million followers. This is her Weibo account. Did you see it? With more than 30 million fans, we Xiangnan are already a big V. Zhang Chen looked at the content and photos on Weibo and asked Wenwen, you wrote and posted these, right? Did you see it? Wenwen laughed, as I sit here these 2 days, I am Feng Xiangnan. What about Xiangnan? Zhang Chen asked. She went to learn to drive, and at Zhao Jingjing's place, the little girl got angry. Wenwen said. Oh, why are you angry? Zhang Chen asked. She said I made her look nothing like her, and she didn't care. Wenwen said, no matter what happened, I took over completely. Zhang Chen smiled bitterly and shook his head. Look, this is a Wu opera. Now it has more than 200,000 followers. It's amazing. Have you never had so many people pay attention to your Wu opera? Wenwen shouted, and this, look. By the way, Yongchen Wu Troupe's official Weibo now has more than 2 million fans, it's amazing. This is indeed beyond Zhang Chen's expectation. I really didn't expect what he said. It's still growing, Wenwen said proudly, it has surpassed the Little Beiwa Yu opera troupe. Zhang Chen looked at the content on the official Weibo of Yongchen Wu opera and said in disbelief, impossible, Wenwen, these contents were also posted by you. Wenwen laughed and said, how could I understand your Wu opera? I inspired Lao Yang to post these. Lao Yang told me that he has been managing this Weibo online every day for the past 2 days. Lin Shuwen was almost fired. Zhang Chen laughed, not bad, the record is brilliant. What a glory, so unlucky. Wenwen's face changed at a moment's notice. The front was still smiling like a flower, but in an instant it turned into a bitter face. What's wrong? Zhang Chen asked. Oops. Wenwen quickly hit the table with her right hand and said, 2 directors called me and asked Xiangnan to play the female lead, but Xiangnan refused to say anything. She said she didn't have time. The great opportunity just slipped away. Okay, I sympathize with you, Zhang Chen said. What's the use of your sympathy? It's more like hugging me, Wenwen giggled. Go away, this is the office, Zhang Chen cursed. Prudery. Wenwen pouted, by the way, are you going to Beijing tomorrow to continue filming one man's history of oil painting? Zhang Chen is right, did Lu Qing tell you? Yeah, Wenwen nodded, originally she wanted to ask me to come over and help, but I have an exclusive interview here and can't accompany you to Beijing tomorrow. You need to accompany me. If you don't accompany me, I will get lost. In a city as big as Beijing, a person from the mountains, would be scared to death, Zhang Chen said. Wenwen knew that Zhang Chen was saying something sarcastic, so she said, okay, don't be afraid, I'll ask Qian to pick you up at the airport. No, people from the branch will come to pick me up, Zhang Chen said quickly. Wenwen said, okay, if she doesn't come, she won't come. I'm still worried when she comes. Zhang Chen became curious and asked, what are you worried about? Qian likes you too. I'm afraid she'll take the lead. However, we sisters don't have much. We can play with the dragon with 2 pearls. I'm mainly afraid that your body won't be able to bear it, Wenwen giggled. Go away, gangster, Zhang Chen cursed. Wenwen looked at him and kept shaking her head. Someone knocked on the door and Zhang Chen called out. The door opened and it was Su Qiaxin and Li Wei standing at the door. Seeing them, Wenwen quickly stood up and said to Zhang Chen. Return the throne to you, sit here and have a boss addiction for 2 days, it's not bad. After that, he pointed at Su Qiaxin and Li Wei and said, What's so hateful is that these people don't come to report their work to me. What's even more hateful is that when they push the door in and see it's me, they turn around and leave. Sukioxen and Li Wei laughed. Sukioxen grabbed Wenwen and said, don't leave, I'm here to report to you now. With that said, Sukioxen started mumbling in English. Wenwen rolled her eyes at her and said, you should report to him. After saying that, she threw Sukioxen away and escaped. The three people in the room laughed. Zhang Chen sat down at the desk and motioned for Sukioxen and Li Wei to sit opposite. Zhang Chen asked Sukioxen what happened. Sukioxen said, in the past 2 days, the two of us and Xiaoli have been discussing together. We are wondering whether the e-commerce area can be expanded. How to expand? Zhang Chen asked. I think we can open a store on Amazon, do cross-border e-commerce, and sell our products directly to foreign consumers. Sukioxen said, compared with other companies, we have great advantages. First, from the product we know what foreigners like, and we can design and produce products they like. Secondly, many companies can do Dabao.com, but they can't do Amazon because they don't understand foreign trade business, and many foreign trade companies don't understand e-commerce business. Like us, we can do everything from design to sales in one line. There are very few companies coming down, which is our advantage. Another key factor is that we have overseas companies, so it is very convenient to collect payments. The three of us all feel that if we also do Amazon, we will definitely do well. As Sukioxen said, Zhang Chen's eyes lit up. He thought their idea was a good one. Opening a store on Amazon and directly facing consumers around the world should indeed be the way forward. He felt that Sukioxen had another most critical solution. The reason was not stated, but Zhang Chen felt that they had the ability to do this well. No matter how good an idea is, if there are no people who can execute it, it will end up being nothing but words on paper. Their ability is the most valuable asset of their company. Zhang Chen said, yes, I support your idea. Just go ahead and tell me if you need me to cooperate with other departments. Sukioxen and Li Wei both laughed. Sukioxen said, boss, what we need your cooperation most is your consent. Zhang Chen smiled and said, okay, I agree, but let me understand. You said boss. First, there is no problem with logistics, right? Zhang Chen asked. No problem, Sukioxen said, in the beginning, we can ship through DHL, UPS, TNT, FedEx, etc. After sales increase, we can rent warehouses in the United States and Europe. We can ship large volume, conventional products ourselves. Shipping by sea, we distribute it to our own warehouse, so that the shipping cost can be reduced. In this way, we are equivalent to opening our own stores in the United States and Europe, but they are not physical stores. We can do our own foreign trade business, Li Wei added on the side. Zhang Chen nodded and said, yes, your idea is very good. Zhang Chen asked. Another question is, Kioxen, will our behavior affect target? There should be no such thing. People who can buy things online. If they don't buy from us, they will buy from other companies. Anyway, they won't go to Target. The kind of people who will go directly to Target to buy things are also they don't tend to buy online, so these are basically two types of consumers. Sukioxen said, the most important thing is that Target buys out all the products we provide to Target. Of course we will not produce the same thing and sell it on Amazon. How will it affect them? Zhang Chen nodded. Li Wei said on the side, now on Amazon, we have discovered that there are other stores that imitate the products we provide to Target and sell them on Amazon. This has nothing to do with us. It is Target who will hold them accountable, Sukioxen said. Zhang Chen said, yes, then he will do as you say. Then we will set up a special team under the e-commerce department, composed of people transferred from Li Wei and people transferred from my foreign trade company, Sukioxen said. Zhang Chen said, yes, No problem. Just as Su Kioxin and Li Wei went out, there was a knock on the door again. Zhang Chen himself laughed and muttered, he was really busy. Come in, Zhang Chen called. The door opened and a figure walked in. Zhang Chen was slightly surprised and stood up quickly. Xiaohu, why are you here? Zhang Chen asked. Xiaohu held two non-woven bags in his hands and walked in. He bowed to Zhang Chen first and called out, hello, brother Zhang Chen, then he walked over and put the two non-woven bags in his hands. On the coffee table, I said to Zhang Chen. These are Taiwanese pineapple cakes and durian cakes, for the elderly at home, and frozen oolong, for brother Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen quickly said thank you, thank you. Xiaohu came over, sat down opposite Zhang Chen's desk, and said to Zhang Chen, my mother asked me to say hello to brother Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen said thank you mother. By the way, Xiaohu, the Chinese New Year is almost here, why are you still here? Do you have any business to be busy with? Zhang Chen asked. One thing is that I need to go to Kunshan and Dongguan to attend a few customer meetings, Xiaohu said. I also need to accompany Xiangnan to Shanghai. Zhang Chen remembered and asked, should we take her to see Mr. Bai Xianyang? Xiaohu is right, Mr. Bai is in Shanghai, and his Peony Pavilion will be touring in Shanghai during the Spring Festival. Zhang Chen nodded and understood. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes at around 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you for your monthly votes from Guandian Electromechanical, Wu Yehuan, Lao Chen Tang, Smiling Running Y, Dong Long Dong, Book Friends 201811241834233518, Book Friends 202101091058222605, Book Friends 201911021135467118, and Book Friends 2018080302563547. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1625. The next morning, Huo and Lao Tan knew that Zhang Chen was going to Beijing for a while. The two of them rushed over from Songjiang early in the morning. Huo showed Zhang Chen the sketch of the new logistic space. Zhang Chen said to Huo, you are the expert on this. I know nothing about this, so you can make the decision. Forced, instructor, if you haven't seen it, I won't feel at ease, the second-rate guy said. Look, Zhang Chen, Lao Tan said, this is the idiot who stayed up all night last night to get out here. Zhang Chen said okay, let's watch it together. The sketch was drawn on a piece of lead drawing paper. The three people walked to the conference table and spread out the drawing. The second goods introduced the entire layout of the logistic space to Zhang Chen. The entire base has a total of more than 530,000 square meters. Huo told Zhang Chen that he was going to take out 150,000 square meters and ask the customer to provide drawings. We will build it according to their requirements. This is the area. Huo pointed to the right side of the drawing. One piece said. Half of the 150,000 square meters was booked last night. Zhang Chen was startled and asked, who has such a huge demand so quickly? Wu Zaiwai and his fellow villagers, who are doing express delivery and are forced to raise children, are not all from Tonglu. When they heard the news, they all called and placed orders. Wu Zaiwai introduced them. The second goods said, there are also people who used to be here in our warehouse. Companies like Zongqi Company, Want Group, Master Kong, Chaoyang Tire, etc., they don't have enough to begin with. Zhang Chen nodded and understood. Huo looked at the drawings and told Zhang Chen all his thoughts. Zhang Chen really didn't understand the logistic space. He listened to what Huo said and it was very reasonable. He couldn't suggest anything more. Suggestion, he told Huo, okay, let's just settle it. The second-rate guy said yes. He rubbed his hands and shouted excitedly, I forced you to do it, Now you can have a big fight. Zhang Chen and Lao Tan were both amused by the idiot. Seeing that it was noontime, Zhang Chen wanted to let them have lunch, but the two of them refused and said they had to rush back. The second guy said that they were still waiting at the Design Institute, so I would give them a week. People are about to enter. Lao Tan also said that with such a tight construction schedule, only by entering the site a day early would he feel at ease. After Lao Tan and Huo left, Zhang Chen simply ate a little and immediately asked Xiao Wu to take him to the airport. His flight would fly to Beijing at 2:10 in the afternoon. After Zhang Chen arrived in Beijing, the person who came to pick him up at the airport was not the general manager of their Beijing branch, nor Qian, but Sun Ho's driver. He picked up Zhang Chen and went back to the bank. Sun Ho was already waiting at the door of their bank. After getting in the car, they drove to Li Yang's house. Sun Ho and Zhang Chen said, "Yangzi asked me to take you directly from the airport to their home. I had some facts and couldn't leave, so I asked the driver to go. Don't betray me in front of Yangzi later." Zhang Chen laughed and said, "What is Li Yang doing? I am in Beijing this time and will stay for a week. I have plenty of time to meet. What is he anxious about? Ask him yourself later," Sun Ho said. Zhang Chen made a call to Lu Qing in the car and told her that he had arrived in Beijing. However, he would be late to return to the hotel because he had dinner with friends in the evening. "Let's meet again tomorrow." "Yes, we should stay at the Wangfu Hotel. By the way, Lu Qing, go home and say hello to your father for me. I'll visit him in 2 days." Lu Qing said, "Yes, I will go directly to your hotel tomorrow morning and we will go see the location together." Zhang Chen said yes. They arrived at Li Yang's house, but Li Yang hadn't come back yet. Sun Hui was waiting for them at home. When she saw Zhang Chen, Sun Hui told him that she knew you were coming today. Li Yang had been cheerful since yesterday, and he was looking forward to it. Sun Ho smiled and said, "Zhang Chen was asking me just now why Yangzi was so eager to see him. Why, just like in Hangcheng, you have to surface and take a breath." Sun Hui smiled bitterly, his pressure now is no less than when he was in Hangzhou. "That's because Yangzi is too strict with himself, too harsh, and cares too much about the influence of all aspects." Sun Ho said, "Like me, I am much freer than him." Sun Hui smiled and said, "How can he compare with you?" Zhang Chen also said, "You have your own halo, Li Yang is different from you." "Misunderstanding, misunderstanding." Sun Ho quickly waved his hands and said, "I don't seek advancement or merit, but I seek no faults. If I hang around like this for another 5 or 6 years, I will be given a full-time position based on seniority, and then I will retire. With this kind of mentality, Yangzi is indeed different from me. He still hopes to do something big, but I have not had that thought for a long time. It should be said that I have never had it." Sun Hui and Zhang Chen shook their heads with smiles. The three people were talking when Li Yang came back. As soon as he entered the door, he heard them chattering. Li Yang asked, "It's so lively, what are you talking about?" "You," Sun Ho said. Li Yang was surprised and asked, "What do I have to talk about? Come on, sit down and let's drink first." "Zhang Chen, do you see that I'm back in Beijing? Only when I'm home can I have a little freedom." He said to Sun Ho and Sun Hui, "Last time I went to Hangzhou, I really wanted to have a drink with Zhang Chen, but in the end we could only chat." "You asked for it," Sun Ho scolded, "who doesn't have a few friends? When you went to Hangzhou, you just went to see Zhang Chen for a drink. So what? You didn't violate discipline. What are you afraid of?" Sun Hui poured wine for them and said with a smile, "He is always afraid of having a bad influence." Li Yang looked at Zhang Chen and Sun Ho, and all three of them laughed. Zhang Chen said, "Li Yang is walking 24 turns every day. What's the meaning?" Sun Ho asked. Li Yang and Zhang Chen both smiled and did not answer. Li Yang raised his cup and said to Sun Ho, "Come on, Monkey, let's do it. The three people raised their glasses and drank the whole drink. Just like last time, Sun Hui ate with them for a while and then walked away, leaving the three brothers in the restaurant. Zhang Chen really wanted to talk to Li Yong about Mengping, but after thinking about it, he didn't say it. There is still no news from Mengping, and it would be of no use to talk about it. It would be better to wait until there is news about Mengping and Ganzi. The worst is to do it by then. If I go to Beijing again, the matter of Mengping's fake official seal can only be explained clearly if he is present in person. Zhang Chen then swallowed the words as he spoke, thinking that it was rare that Li Yong was relaxed and happy today, so why bother to spoil his fun for no reason at this time? Li Yong asked Zhang Chen, besides filming TV, what else do you do now? Zhang Chen told them that he went to Songjiang, Shanghai yesterday and had just signed a logistics space relocation contract, and said that he was going to consider building a logistics space as a direction for his own business. Li Yong agrees with this. He himself was the mayor of Hangzhou City. He certainly knows the importance of a logistics space to a city, especially in extraordinary times. Li Yong said that during the SARS and snowstorms in the south, he was worried that the supply of materials would not be able to keep up, so he ran to several logistics spaces every day. Think about it, if the supply of materials could not keep up, the whole city would be panicked. If prices soar, there will be trouble. This logistics space is, quite literally, the lungs of a city. Zhang Chen sighed and said, it's important, but this logistics space requires hundreds of acres of land. Now, which city is willing to take out so much land? Li Yong, tell the truth, if you are still the mayor of Hangzhou City, and I am asked to use 500 acres of land as a logistics space, are you willing to do so? Li Yong was stunned for a moment, then thought for a while and said, to be honest, I really don't want to give it up. How much can it sell for 500 acres of land? How much can it increase local income? If I build a logistics space for you, I can't use it as real estate. The standard fee for land use is that you can't afford it, but I'm really reluctant to sell such a large piece of land at such a low price. Zhang Chen and Sun Ho both laughed. Zhang Chen and Sun Ho said, have you heard? Almost all those who are in charge now have this mentality. It is best for you to move to Haining or Anji for any industrial park or logistics space. Don't use it here. The land I have here should be used for development. Real estate. Li Yong said with a smile, there is no way around it. Whoever is in charge of one party has not yet become a bit localistic. Who doesn't want the place under his jurisdiction to have more money and a better life than other places? This kind of competition is normal. Bar. Zhang Chen waved his hand and said, okay, you are right anyway. Zhang Chen, in such a big city of Hangzhou, it is really impossible to find a piece of land that can be used as a logistics space. According to my understanding, this logistics space does not need a very good place, as long as the transportation is convenient and it is close to the city. Just don't go too far, Sun Ho said. Zhang Chen nodded and said, I didn't expect a good place in the first place. Songjiang is just a good land exchange for them to develop real estate. I will squat in a corner by myself. There are places in Hangcheng now, Jubeo, Ho you don't know, but Li Yong knows that we have reached the very edge of Hangzhou, almost to Haining, and there is land there. You mean the part of the original military farm? Li Yong asked. Zhang Chen is right. Li Yong said, that is more troublesome. Since I was in Hangzhou, I have coordinated with the military region many times. Although the entire farm has already gone through the overall military to civilian transfer procedures, it has not been completely cleared. The military region has arrested those market lands. Are all lease agreements signed with the military region, and the Hangzhou city government has no right to move them. I know. Zhang Chen nodded and said. Do you know our dilemma? Li Yong said, one is here, and the other is Jianqiao Airport. Jianqiao Airport is now surrounded by the city center. From the perspective of urban development, of course we hope that Jianqiao Airport can be relocated. But there are too many aspects involved, and it is not something that the Hangzhou city government or even the provincial government can make the decision at all. Zhang Chen, you scolded local leaders like us earlier, which sounds reasonable, but you may not know that for us, when we manage a city, we are also in shackles, as Wen Yuduo said. There is so much helplessness in dancing. Zhang Chen smiled and said, okay, I understand, this is the complicated China you said, right? Come on, drink, it's easier to drink, Sun Ho said. Yangzi, you don't have to sigh. Anyway, you are not in charge of the government now. Whether you dance in shackles or dance with a paper chain, it all works the same. You don't matter anymore. Li Yong glared at Sun Ho and cursed, I am saying this with deep regret. You guys, I should just throw you down there to train. You will be on the job for 2 or 3 years before you know the people below distress. Thank you for your monthly votes from Wooden Man, He Shi Yitan, No Penetration, and Wandering Mayfly. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1626. Sun Ho sent Zhang Chen back to the Wangfu Hotel. When they arrived at the hotel entrance, Sun Ho and Zhang Chen got off the car together and wanted to send Zhang Chen into the hotel, but Zhang Chen quickly asked him to stay. Sun Ho and Zhang Chen said, okay, we'll stop here today and have dinner together tomorrow night. I'll pick you up at 6:30. Zhang Chen said no, I can just drive there myself. Okay, I'll send you the address later, Sun Ho said. Zhang Chen said yes. Watching Sun Ho get into the car and drive away, Zhang Chen took his luggage and turned around and walked into the hotel. He walked to the front desk to get his room card. The general manager of their Beijing branch had already opened a room for him and left a car key. Here, the receptionist told him that the car was parked in the underground parking lot. At around 8 o'clock the next morning, Lu Qing arrived at the Wangfu Hotel with a group of 6 people including the camera, lighting, and makeup artist. Lu Qing and Zhang Chen said that they will shoot materials for the next 3 days today and tomorrow. They need to go to the Forbidden City, the National Art Museum of China, the Chinese Oil Painting Museum, the Capitol Library, the Old Summer Palace and other places to collect materials. Castiglione is not only a painter, but also the West Tower of the Old Summer Palace. The main designer and construction supervisor, the West Building was burned by the British and French forces and no longer exists today, but its ruins have been cleared over the years. They also want to go to the Beijing Municipal Party School at number 6 Zhuang Street. In a corner of the campus, there is a Western missionary cemetery originally called Palin. The graves of Castiglione and PoortoRich are all there, as well as the famous Tang Ruoang and Nan Huiren, they were also buried there. I had been to all these places, and after all the material had been shot, I returned to Zhang Chen's courtyard house. Brother Zhang, is there any problem with this arrangement? Lu Qing asked. Zhang Chen said no, when I get here, I will follow your arrangements. You will be Daozu and I will be the fish. Okay, happy, Lu Qing chuckled. They had a busy day, but they only went to the Forbidden City and Shoito. Most of the time was spent on preparations. Everywhere they went, Zhang Chen had to appear on camera, and the makeup artist had to give him makeup. While she was putting on makeup, Lu Qing stood by and watched her smile. Zhang Chen knew what she was laughing about. When we were filming the story of paintings, Zhang Chen was a little resistant to makeup at first, saying that it was good to appear naturally like this. Lu Qing coaxed him and said, it's understandable. Confident men don't like makeup. Brother Zhang, this is your first time wearing makeup bar? It doesn't matter, just get used to it. Zhang Chen smiled and said, on the contrary, I used to put on makeup a lot, and I always did it quickly. Quick makeup? What kind of makeup method? Even the makeup artist was curious. Zhang Chen told them that in the past when the troupe went out to perform, staff members like them often had to come on stage to perform extra roles. They would catch anyone who had nothing to do at that time. He was an artist and was responsible for repairing the scenery and props. Generally, they all work during the day, and if they have nothing to do at night, they become professional part-timers. The trouble with playing a small part is that many times, one play is different from the next. You play a villain this time, with a green face, and the next time you play a decent one, with a red face. So, it's normal to put on makeup several times a night. The makeup of the small troupe is all done by the actors themselves. Fortunately, he is an artist. He holds a makeup pen and uses his face as a canvas, so he can do it within a minute. After finishing his own transformation, he would have to help the other co-stars to do the transformation. If that night were all excerpts from the show, and they were very busy, he would be extremely busy. Lu Qing was laughing now, and Zhang Chen knew that was what he was laughing at. In the winter in the north, it gets dark very early. At 5 o'clock, they stop working. Lu Qing asked Zhang Chen, "Do you have any plans for the evening?" Zhang Chen said yes, he was having dinner with his friends. Lu Qing chuckled, "It seems that you are still very busy. Okay, let's have dinner with my friend tomorrow night." Zhang Chen said yes. Zhang Chen and Lu Qing broke up in the Forbidden City. It was already past 5 o'clock. He simply didn't go back to the Wangfu Hotel and drove directly to the address Sun Ho gave him. The evening rush hour has begun, and Zhang Chen is not familiar with the roads in Beijing, and the navigation in the car is unclear. Zhang Chen went around and around to Chang'an Street, and happened to encounter another important person or VIP traveling. Traffic control, it took more than half an hour to return to normal. Zhang Chen felt that what he said to Wen Wen yesterday was right. Beijing was too big. As a person from the mountains, he couldn't adapt. After driving for an hour and looking at the navigation, it seemed that half of the road was connected. Before he opened it, Zhang Chen smiled bitterly and shook his head. Sun Ho made an appointment with him at 7 o'clock. When Zhang Chen arrived at the hotel, it was already past 7 o'clock. When he walked into the box, Sun Ho and Huang Jianren both smiled at him. Zhang Chen cursed. "It's the first traffic jam in the capital. I left the Forbidden City at around 5 o'clock and have been driving until now." Sun Ho smiled and said, "We are all used to it, so we didn't call to rush you." Zhang Chen sat down on his seat and asked, "You are such a bitch, are you used to traffic jams?" "I'm used to hearing complaints from friends from other places," Sun Ho said. "Why are we stuck in traffic jams? There's nothing else like it in Beijing. There are just so many alleys and they extend in all directions. We can always find a shortcut." The dishes were already served. Huang Jianren filled Zhang Chen's glass of wine. Sun Ho said, "Come on, Zhang Chen, let's go first to calm down the situation." "Beijing didn't scare you, did it?" Zhang Chen asked. "Just the three of us." Sun Ho nodded. "Yangzi will not go outside to ask for food." That's what Sun Hui said. He is afraid of bad influence. This new star, he is in Beijing, basically 2 points and 1 line. It's understandable that people in Beijing are very discerning, and they really don't know which pit they've fallen into if they're not careful. Zhang Chen raised his cup, clinked it with Sun Ho and Huang Jianren, and the three of them drank it down in one gulp. "Zhang Chen, are Tianjin and Beijing going to do the logistics space thing you mentioned yesterday?" Sun Ho asked. Zhang Chen said yes, of course. I think it would be good to have a nationwide layout and build a logistics space. Some of our big customers basically have warehouse needs all over the country. Wherever our logistics space is built, it will follow wherever it goes. There is one in Tianjin now. It is in the hands of our bank. It is close to Tianjin port. It used to be the cargo yard of a state-owned enterprise. Later, It disappeared due to corporate restructuring, mergers, etc., and this place became part of our bank. It's a bad debt. When you're done here, I'll accompany you to Tianjin, Sun Ho said. I'll help you look for it here in Beijing as well. Zhang Chen quickly said yes, thank you monkey. Also, what you talked about last night, about Hangcheng, the military area, you talked to Xiao Huang. Sun Ho and Zhang Chen said that Zhang Chen understood that Sun Ho listened to what he said at Li Yang's house yesterday, but there were some things that he was not comfortable saying in front of Li Yang, for fear of causing bad effects, so he deliberately treat yourself to a meal and call Huang Jianren over. Zhang Chen told Huang Jianren about the situation of the land in Jubeo. Sun Ho and Huang Jianren said, you can go to Hangzhou tomorrow and help Zhang Chen settle this matter. Huang Jianren said yes. By the way, Mr. Zhang, when I arrive in Hangcheng, who will go to the military area with me? Huang Jianren asked. Tan Shahen, you should have seen it, Zhang Chen said. The noble wife of the Pole, Sun Ho asked. Zhang Chen said yes, Sun Ho nodded, and Huang Jianren also said, I understand. I'll call her later and ask her to pick you up at the airport. Zhang Chen and Huang Jianren said that Huang Jianren agreed that Zhang Chen gave Tan Shahen's mobile phone number to Huang Jianren and asked him to book the air tickets and send text messages directly to Tan Shahen. Come on, let's go with one more. Sun Ho raised the cup. When Zhang Chen was still in their own courtyard, continuing to shoot one person's history of oil painting, Tan Shahen called him and told him that the land in Jubeo was secured, 612 acres, and the lease was 20 next year. If the new policy comes down, we will have to decide how to rent and resell it then. It's not our family anyway. Zhang Chen agreed, as long as he can occupy the seat first. After Zhang Chen's filming in Beijing was completed, Sun Ho took Zhang Chen to Tianjin, and the president of the Tianjin branch accompanied them. Zhang Chen looked at it and felt that this land was very suitable. It totaled 582 acres. 7 years ago, the company's mortgage loan from Sun Ho and their Tianjin branch was 50 million. Sun Ho helped Zhang Chen contact the court. And finally Zhang Chen obtained the land at a price of 68 million. After the matter was done, Zhang Chen returned to Hangzhou. Xiao Wu came to pick him up at the airport. When he arrived upstairs at the dynamic zone, he saw Er Hao and Wu Zayawai also arriving. Er Hao shouted when he saw him. Forced, instructor, it suddenly became 3 logistic spaces. It's really big. Wu Zayawai and Zhang Chen said, Mr. Zhang, wherever your logistic space is built, we will follow it. Without a second thought, the other express delivery companies will also follow. Zhang Chen was surprised and asked Wu Zayawai, we are all courier companies and colleagues. Are you Tonglu people so united? Wu Zayawai smiled and said, they may not listen to Wei Venfang's words, but if I speak, they will definitely listen. Why? Zhang Chen asked. As a woman, you don't understand Wei Venfang yet. He is a bit stingy and can easily offend others, Wu Zayawai said. Forced to raise, I think the bosses of those express delivery companies are all called brother, Wu Kawai Huo said. No way, Wu Zayawai, your status in the express delivery industry is so high now, Zhang Chen asked. Wu Zayawai chuckled, well, I'm not bragging. I'm really their eldest brother. Except for SF Express, the bosses of several other express delivery companies really started working with me. They all worked under me. No wonder Wei Venfang can't get along with them. Is she angry? Zhang Chen asked. Wu Zayawai is right. She always likes to nag about big things. I have told her so many times that when we do express delivery, we have to be as united as we Tonglu people can do it. It's a little better now. It turns out that wherever our market comes from, it's not all created out of it. It turns out that Luqiao, Qiqiao, and Yuwu are all owned by Northeasterners. Our recipients have been beaten many times by them, especially for air transport. Which major airport in the country does not fight several times a year? What now? Zhang Chen asked. Now the bridge is back to the bridge. Several companies from Tonglu people have joined together. There are so many people. The people in the northeast have also been conquered by us. Now we are doing our express delivery, and they continue to do their road freight. Everyone is well, water does not invade the river, Wu Zaiwai said. You Tonglu people don't fight, Xiao Wu asked. There will be some minor friction, but it won't be a big deal. If anything happens, the bosses can talk on the phone and have a meal together to resolve it. It's not like they don't know each other. They are all from the same village. If it really comes to this, they are all relatives. Wu Kaiwai said. Zhang Chen and Huo said, then you and Wu Zaiwai are together. From now on, all logistics bases in the country will be under your control. No, how can I control it? I'm forced to raise it. I just need to manage Shanghai, Huo said. Zhang Chen scolded, then you don't care who is in charge. If you can manage Shanghai well, you can manage the whole country. Hui Huan, a girl, can manage several hotels. Look at Wu Zaiwai and Wei Venfang, what they have done. The company, who knows how much more than you, needs to be managed as well. Okay, Huo. We have so many warehouses across the country and have to deal with logistics spaces a lot. Yours is the best management I have ever seen, Wu Zaiwai said. This logistics space is the same as our express company. No matter how many branches you have, each one is actually the same, and its organizational structure and management model are the same. Did you hear that, you idiot? Wu Zaiwai already approves of you, so why are you so modest? Zhang Chen said. The idiot scratched his head, thought for a moment and said, Instructor, you can let me take care of it, but you have to agree to one request. What's the request? Zhang Chen asked. Give me Xiao, Huo said. Let Xiao be the general manager of the Hangzhou logistics base. In this way, Xiao will be in charge of the construction site in Hangcheng, and Xiajun in Shanghai will keep an eye on it. My uncle Tan, often if you go, I can go to Tianjin. Zhang Chen thought about it and realized that what he said made sense. He said, okay, Xiao Wu, then you will be the general manager of the logistics base in Hangzhou. Before Xiao Wu could speak, the idiot told him, I'm sorry for you, Xiao Wu, but you must help me. You're forced to raise me. I was also forced to do nothing by the instructor. Xiao Wu said, yes, as long as you don't think I don't understand anything, I will do it. Soon, you can learn this in one go. It's easier than punching all the way, Huo said quickly. Zhang Chen and Huo said. That's not enough, you idiot. You have to learn from Huihuan and cultivate talents. Now there are 3. Next year we will have 10 or 20. What will you do? Where can you find so many general managers? Dude, let me tell you, don't be stingy, don't be afraid that people will have nothing to do. Even if you have nothing to do, you have to raise a few people and let them learn from you. Do you understand? You are forced to raise someone. This is such a troublesome thing, said the second-rate guy. When I see someone who is idle and has nothing to do, I can't help but want to kick him. Xiao Wu and Wu Zaiwai both laughed, and Zhang Chen also laughed. He said, it's okay to kick, but people still have to be raised. Do you understand? Okay, I get it, Huo said. Thank you for reading the book. The Mood is Different, Quadratic VC, 1 Up and 2 Fishes, and the reward at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you for your monthly votes from Smiling and Running Y, Taizong Shang 1, Yunlong Frogfish, Thomas. LHB, Dong Long Dong, Huandian Electromechanical, Kingbo, Yuingzi, Do Shang 8B, Reading Moods Are Different, Book Friends 201711192342197449, Book Friends 201905251943000331. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1627. Wu Ziyawai and Zhang Chen said, Mr. Zhang, hurry up and build your base in Hangzhou so that we can move here. Why, Hangsilian can't be used anymore, Zhang Chen asked. That place is very troublesome. It is said to be demolished every year, but it is not demolished every year. However, we dare not spend money to renovate it. Now, there are too many pieces every day, and manual sorting has long been unable to keep up. We urgently need to use the electronic sorting system, so we moved to your place and we dared to use it, Wu Ziyawai and Zhang Chen said. Where do so many express packages come from? Zhang Chen was curious. Dabao.com, your e-commerce department alone has to deliver so many express delivery every day. How many online stores are there in Hangzhou now? How can there not be too many express delivery? Wu Ziyawai said. Zhang Chen said yes, our place and Tianjin are the same as Shanghai. We will provide the place and you will provide the drawings. This is the best, Wu Ziyawai said. It's the same. If you are forced to raise a child, you also have to pay 5 years rent in advance, the second-hand man shouted. Wu Ziyawai said there is no problem. If you dare to take it, I can pay it for 10 years. In our industry, the warehouse is the most important, and we are most afraid of moving it around. The second-rate guy patted Wu Ziyawai's belly and said, I was raised by force. Now that I'm rich, my tone of voice is different. You're so angry, I still unload the goods every day, Wu Ziyawai cursed. That's because you are stingy. How much can it cost to hire an extra loader? Huo said, no, Wei Venfang asked you to do it. She uses her husband like a bull. She uses it during the day and also uses it at night. Get the hell out of here, Wu Ziyawai scolded, while Zhang Chen and Xiao Wu laughed. By the way, Mr. Zhang, when will construction start here in Hangcheng? Wu Ziyawai asked. After the new year is coming soon. I can't work for a few days after entering the site. I have to send people to guard the construction site. It's troublesome. Let's enter the site together after the new year. Hangzhou is the same as Tianjin, Zhang Chen said. Second goods, how about it? Okay, I'll go to Tianjin tomorrow and find someone to do the planning and preliminary survey first, Huo said. What about here in Hangzhou? Zhang Chen asked. Forced, you think I'm dead? The survey here has already been done, and the design has been handed over to others. Before you came back, the arrangements were made here. Director Tan said, don't ask for your instructions, let me directly just make arrangements, Huo said. Zhang Chen laughed and said that it was good, and he moved very quickly. What I'm thinking in my mind is, does this noble wife want to ignore me? Think beautifully. Zhang Chen stood up and said to them, let's go and see the land together. The Spring Festival has not yet arrived, but the Andy Warhol Works exhibition has already opened. Although it is during the Spring Festival travel rush, countless visitors from all over the country still flock to it, which shows the great influence of Andy Warhol. The opening ceremony was very grand. Not only did many media at home and abroad participate in the report, but even the US Consul General in Shanghai came to attend the opening ceremony in person. Correspondingly, the Chinese side, the Ministry of Culture and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also sent people to attend. Due to the improvement in the level of the exhibition, the organizers have become the U.S. China Cultural Exchange Foundation and the People's Government of Hangzhou City. Zhang Chen and his Riverside Oil Painting Gallery have changed from the original joint organizers to co-organizers. Zhao Xian pouted and said, the peach by her mouth was picked again, it was still a big one. Zhang Chen laughed. He didn't care about it. He and Zhao Xian said, It doesn't matter whether we are hosting or co-organizing. The most important thing is that the exhibition is held here, and that is enough. Okay, I'm narrow-minded, I'll face the wall and think about it, Zhao Xian said and walked out. After a while, she came back, sat down, and stared at Zhang Chen angrily. Zhang Chen asked her, "What's wrong?" Zhao Xian sighed and said, "I can't hold it in any longer and have to let it out." "Boss, tell me, what's so good about Andy Warhol? I haven't seen it since yesterday. What's the best?" "Just these paintings of his. I'm not bragging. I hold a pen with my foot and can draw better than him. This is the emperor's new clothes, right?" Zhang Chen laughed. "Really, boss, and after seeing it, I feel that these things are not worth holding an exhibition at all. Printing a picture album and letting everyone hold it in their hands is more interesting than going to the exhibition," Zhao Xian said. "You say, have we been deceived by the Americans?" A bit. Zhang Chen nodded and said, "Do you know why modern painting is rarely called modern painting, but is called modern art?" Zhao Xian shook his head. Zhang Chen said, "Because art is broader than painting, you can't do it without a brush at least. Otherwise, how can you paint? And many modern arts have simply moved away from the brush and the easel. The performance art exhibitions that made a lot of noise in the past few years, those who sell hairtail in the art museum, those who wash feet, and those who make mapo tofu are all painters, but there is no way to define it in terms of painting. By the way, there is no way to even define a painter. Like Cai Kuoqiang, he uses gunpowder to create. Our traditional painting is two-dimensional. His works also add the dimension of time and the entire process of explosion is both a process of creation and a process of audience appreciation. The most valuable thing is that his works exist for a shorter period of time than all other works. If it were not recorded with the help of images, like his Ladder to Heaven, the life of a work would end when it is completed." "I still think this is not a painting," Zhao Xian said. "Of course it is a painting, but there is no canvas. The sky has become his canvas. Miro also painted in the air, and so did you," Zhang Chen said. "What's wrong with me?" Zhao Xian asked. "I've never been so crazy. Don't tell me that you have never imagined a painting in your mind, or dreamed of a painting that has never been seen in this world. You said that what you imagined, what you dreamed about, and what you saw in front of you are different. What's the difference? You can't say they are not paintings, right? The only difference between them and the works you see with your eyes or draw in your hands is time. Their existence is too short. It passes as soon as you think about it. When you wake up, they are gone. But if there is an instrument that can capture and record these moments, can you still see them?" Zhao Xian nodded. "Then tell me, put them together with the paintings printed on the album and the freeze-frame images of Cai Guoqiang's Explosion series. What are the differences between them? Can you say that the one printed on the album is a painting, and the other two isn't it?" Zhang Chen asked. Zhao Xian shook his head and nodded. Zhao Xian said, "When you say this, I am confused by you. What about this Andy Warhol? Similarly, we also need to put in the dimension of time. The past time, the moment when his works were produced, and the scene also need to be replaced. His works were so popular at the time. This was an event, and the event itself it's very curious." "I don't understand," Zhao Xian shook his head. "For example, why must everyone who sees the exhibition think he is amazing? Why can't he be like you and think this is all nonsense? Why can't it be like this?" Zhang Chen asked. The various reactions of the audience, they also participated in the completion of a creation together. Zhao Xian stood up and said, "No, I can't listen to your nonsense anymore. I feel that if I continue to listen to you, I will doubt my life and that everything I learned is wrong." Zhang Chen laughed. "Does that mean that even the existence of our art museum is worthless?" Zhao Xian asked. Zhang Chen is right. In the eyes of many people, they think all easel art is meaningless. Get away from them, Zhao Xian cursed and walked out. One thing Zhang Chen must admit is that after watching the entire Andy Warhol Works exhibition, he felt very calm, even numb, and he did not feel that Andy Warhol there was something about his works that attracted him, let alone inspired him. Even if he forced himself to look at these things, he honestly couldn't see them. He felt that the level of tolerance he could tolerate, or the level of appreciation, was at most Miro, Paul Klee, or Kandinsky. Maybe this expectation of mine is wrong, absurd, or even lagging behind as some people say. Zhang Chen doesn't think so. He thinks art and science are different. Art is not a high mountain. As long as you climb up every day, today's height will definitely be higher than yesterday. You can say today's science is definitely more developed than in the past. An improvement over the past, but the art certainly isn't. Zhang Chen believes that art is neither progressive nor backward. Art is like a forest. Whether it is a towering tree or a small grass, they grow, but they grow on the same horizon. No matter whether you are 500 years old or 1 year old, in this forest, everyone has his own posture and position, and no one can replace the other. Artists are like miracles. They are stars embedded in the sky. There is no question of one being better than the other. If there were, it would be like a new computer with more powerful functions coming out, sweeping and eliminating all. Just like computers, the emergence of an artist makes all previous artists meaningless. No, that's not what art is. From this perspective, Zhang Chen feels that anyone who claims to be modern art and promotes new concepts is either pretending to be a ghost or trying to please the public. When a person walks in the forest, what attracts him may be a tree, a grass, a leaf, or a small insect. The same is true for art. When you put it out, it must at least attract me and make me see it. Otherwise, at least to me, you have no meaning of existence and I will ignore you. Zhang Chen looked around and couldn't help but laugh. He saw that most of the people in the exhibition hall had blank eyes. It was the young painter who had become a bit popular on the internet recently. Zhang Chen looked at him from a distance. He was talking non-stop to his companions, followed by a person holding a recording pen in his hand, who was probably a reporter. Zhang Chen looked at the young painter and talked eloquently. His companion kept nodding, but his eyes were blank. The painter suddenly stopped and looked around the exhibition hall. Zhang Chen found that his eyes were also blank. During this spring festival, many people will probably become a little crazy because of this exhibition. Zhang Chen thinks that maybe this is the purpose of this exhibition. Why are there so many normal people? Isn't it better for everyone to be a little crazy? Zhang Chen thought that when everyone was at a loss, Andy Warhol would be snickering. Just laugh. Zhang Chen remembered that when he talked endlessly with Zhao Xian earlier, he looked very much like this young painter, and Zhang Chen couldn't help laughing. Thank you for the tip that I didn't even know anyone asked. Thank you Daos Hung 123 for your monthly ticket. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1628. There were so many visitors to the Andy Warhol Works exhibition that the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery had to implement capacity restrictions. They extended the exhibition hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to 8:30 a.m. to evening 8 o'clock. After 8 o'clock, the museum cannot be closed. The door of the oil painting gallery is closed, but it remains open to the media. There are too many visitors during the day, and the media has no way to record or take photos. There are also some important guests who have postponed their visit to after 8 o'clock in the evening, saying that they can watch the exhibition quietly. Andy Warhol's significance to modern art, his status and influence are Godfather level. Zhang Chen expected that he could attract a lot of audiences, but it was beyond Zhang Chen's expectation that so many people came all at once. But it's not surprising when you think about it. How long have you heard about Andy Warhol? But he has always been in the United States. Not everyone can go to the United States, but almost everyone can come to Hangzhou. Andy Warhol, you have come, how can they not come? Lu Qing called Zhang Chen and said that he was coming to Hangzhou to do a feature on Andy Warhol. Zhang Chen and Lu Qing said that they could do a cultural report and do a feature on Andy Warhol. Yes, but don't ask me to be the guest commentator. Why? Lu Qing asked, didn't we already agree? Yes, it was agreed upon a long time ago, but nothing. Before I saw such a large number of original works, I still had a lot of ideas, but when I actually saw them, I felt like I had nothing to say. Zhang Chen and Lu Qing said, I can't just talk nonsense when I have nothing to say. Do you think so? Disappointment, Lu Qing asked. It's not disappointing. Although Lu Qing couldn't see it, Zhang Chen held the phone and still shook his head. It's not disappointing, it's more real. Do you know this feeling, Lu Qing? That is, I saw a more real Andy Warhol. He used to be a bit like a god, but now he is a human being. In this process, there are something is broken, just. Lu Qing remained silent on the other end of the phone. She was waiting for Zhang Chen to continue speaking. She knew that Zhang Chen was looking for more appropriate words to express his words. It's, oh, so this is Andy Warhol, Zhang Chen said. When we say, oh, so this is what it is, there's a click in our hearts, as if something is broken. I am also disillusioned, a little disappointed, a little happy, and a little proud. I just feel that he is not that far away from me, Lu Qing, I don't know how to express it. I understand, Lu Qing said, I have felt this way too. Zhang Chen breathed a sigh of relief and said, so, Andy Warhol left me speechless. No, this is a bit frivolous and derogatory. To be precise, it left me speechless. By the way, you can go to the Central Academy of Fine Arts to look for him. You can ask Fan Dian, he is an expert, maybe he will have a deeper understanding of Andy Warhol. I will be there, you can also learn from it. So humble, Brother Zhang, Lu Qing said with a smile. It's not about being humble, it's because everyone has their own Andy Warhol in their eyes. Zhang Chen also smiled. Okay, I'll let you go this time, Lu Qing said. The next day, on the afternoon of the 29th of the Lunar New Year, Lu Qing and his party came. Zhang Chen and Xiao Sheng drove a van to the airport to pick them up. When they saw Lu Qing, Zhang Chen said, after working so hard, they are all 20 years old. It's 9, are you still coming? Is there anything I can do? There are too many things to do. I can't rush it. After the first episode of One Man's Oil Painting History was aired, the response was good. Painting talk is still going on. Why did you stop? Take a shot. Once the butt is gone, the rest is our business, Lu Qing said. Zhang Chen said, fine, blame me. I don't blame you. You are so efficient. Even though we are busy, we still feel confident. We would panic if we had nothing on hand, Lu Qing said with a smile. Zhang Chen went to Beijing this time and stayed for more than a week. In addition to filming the episode about Castiglione the missionary, One Man's History of Oil Painting also filmed an episode about Cai-Yuan-Pi. Zhang Chen believes that no matter from which perspective, Cai-Yuan-Pi, the contributions to Chinese oil painting are all foundational and crucial. There must be an episode to talk about Cai-Yuan-Pi. The growth of Su Biang, Lin Fengmian, Lu Haisu, and others is related to the care and help of Cai-Yuan-Pi. When Cai-Yuan-Pi served as the president and director of education of Peking University, he directly promoted the cross-ocean dream pursuit of a generation of Chinese youth, and later the establishment of the National Art College, more directly approved by Cai-Yuan-Pi. When they arrived at the National Art Museum of China, they collected a lot of materials, not only for a person's history of oil painting, but also for theory of painting. In the National Art Museum of China,
there are some of Wu Guanzong's best landscapes that Zhang Chen considers. There are also paintings by Yan Wenliang, Guanzilan, Shachi, Yu Ben, and others. What's even more rare is that Zhang Chen also saw Zhang Kongren's paintings, which echoed the first episode. Zhang Chongren is one of the students of the Tishanwan Oil Painting Museum. Because of the status and convenience of the National Oil Painting Museum, the National Art Museum of China has collected many works of the new era, such as Father by Luo Zhongli, The Spring Breeze Has Awakened by He Dueling, and Sweat of Steel by Guang Tingbo. These are all. It was a work that caused a sensation at the time. What is even more rare is that the three most important works of scar art, Gao Ziahua's Y, Chen Konglin's Snow on X Month X, 1968, and Wang Hai's Spring, are all collected in China. Art Museum. Scar art originated from scar literature. On August 11, 1978, Shanghai's Wen Huipo published Lu Xinhua's novel Scar, which aroused a huge response from readers. For a time, they reflected on a period of history in the past. And questioning have become the themes that many literary and art workers think about. This trend of thought also spread to the art world. In 1979, the first national art exhibition in the new era, the National Art Exhibition on the 30th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China, was held at the National Art Museum of China. 3 works by 3 students from the Sichuan Academy of Fine Arts, Gao Ziahua Y by Chen Konglin, Snow on X Month, X Day, 1968, and Wang Hai's Spring shocked the art world at that time. Wang Hai's Spring also won the second prize in the art exhibition, which opened the prelude to scar art. When it comes to the history of Chinese oil painting, scar art is a hurdle that cannot be bypassed. Zhang Chen feels that it must be said. He also wants to talk about Gao Ziahua's Y and his 1982 Catching the Train. From the reflective history of Y to the reflection of ordinary people's lives in Catching the Train, the thorn of the painter seems to be less and more peaceful, but this also heralds the coming of a big change. How does a painter in a period of great historical change? Zhang Chen thinks it is a very interesting topic to change oneself. In 2003, when the Chinese contemporary oil painting market just started, Catching the Train sold for 3.63 million yuan, beating out many modern and contemporary masters and setting a record for the highest auction price for a Chinese oil painting at that time. It can be said that it was another marketization of Chinese oil painting. A testimony. Scar art couldn't be avoided, but the topic was very sensitive. Zhang Chen was not sure, so he asked Lu Qing if it could be photographed. Lu Qing was not sure either, so he asked Taili for instructions, but Taili didn't seem to have a good grasp of the scale. A few years ago, TV series like Wasted Years and movies like Furongtown could still be screened, but now, who knows? Taili asked for instructions from the superiors again. The instructions from the superiors were beyond everyone's expectations and were quite enlightened. They said that this is history and there is no need to avoid it, as long as it is not over-exaggerated. Zhang Chen breathed a sigh of relief and thought this was a bit funny, much like a false alarm created by himself. When Zhang Chen was having dinner at Li Yong's house, Zhang Chen told Li Yong and Sun Ho a joke. Li Yong and Sun Ho also laughed. Li Yong said, "In fact, all the above people have experienced this period of history personally. I don't know what history is about. Avoidance is historical nihilism. As far as I know, people above are more enlightened than below." Zhang Chen didn't understand and asked Li Yong, "Why is this happening?" Li Yong said with a smile, "In the past 2 years, everyone from bottom to top asked for loosening of restrictions. In the past 2 years, I think everyone has tightened restrictions on themselves, increasing the restrictions at every level. We are all soldiers. As a result, the common people feel that we are extremely hypocritical and disgusting. To put it bluntly, there aren't too many cotters like Monkey." Sun Ho was unconvinced and shouted, "What does it have to do with me?" Li Yong said, "Didn't you say that you don't seek merit, but seek no faults? But if you seek no faults,
That's it? You are afraid of something happening, afraid of this and that, and you have become an old lady with little feet, even in economic policies. It's the same thing. When we go to the lower levels, sometimes the lower levels are very anxious and ask us for instructions on something. If we don't know about this, the higher authorities have already loosened the restrictions and given the authority to the province. Zhang Chen is right. It's really what you said, Li Yong. Like Gao Ziahua's Y and Chenkanglin's Snow on X, month, X, 1968, there are fewer and fewer opportunities to meet the public. I asked the museum why, they couldn't explain why, and they didn't receive any clear instructions. They just felt bad about it. This is self-imposed restraint, Li Yong said. Now that they had the above instructions, Zhang Chen and the others shot a lot of material in one go. Zhang Chen came back, and Lu Qing and the others were still editing Huashuo episode by episode. When Zhang Chen and Lu Qing were talking, they stayed away from the others. After talking, they returned to the crowd. Lu Qing introduced Zhang Chen to a guest they brought, a professor from the Central Academy of Fine Arts, but it was not Fan Dian. Zhang Chen and he shook hands and said welcome. Zhang Chen then told Lu Qing, I have asked Zhao Xian to arrange it, and you can shoot it tonight, so that it will not delay everyone's return for the New Year's Eve dinner tomorrow. Why, you won't invite us tonight? Lu Qing asked with a smile. Zhang Chen said, of course, please. I'll ask the chef from Tuxianjiayuan to wait. You can take photos until 2 or 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. We'll go over and eat after the photo shoot. Everyone cheered when they heard it. Lu Qing said, this treatment is not bad. Thank you, Brother Zhang. At 8 o'clock, the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery closed. Lu Qing and the others started taking pictures, and Zhang Chen followed them. He wanted to hear what the experts were saying, but after listening for more than 10 minutes, Zhang Chen walked away and went back. Zhao Xian's office. He felt that this expert was completely talking to himself. What he was talking about was not Andy Warhol at all. In other words, he could be talking about Andy Warhol or any modern artist. If your words are meaningless and pointless, screw you, the professor, are not as good as me, Professor Zhang. Zhang Chen thought a little proudly, and at the same time he was a little proud. He felt that he was at least a little ashamed. It's a pity that there is a table of good food and wine in Tuxianjiayuan. I will invite a vulgar food later. When thinking about this, Zhang Chen felt that he was being mean. He couldn't help but laugh. Zhao Xian asked. Why are you laughing? You're not laughing at anything, just smile, okay? Ken. By the way, why don't you go out and listen? Zhang Chen asked, didn't you say you can't understand? If you don't go, I can't understand you, Zhao Xian said, you're still talking about me, why don't you go? I understand everything, no need to listen, Zhang Chen said. Zhao Xian stared at Zhang Chen, are you so awesome, boss? What do you think? Zhang Chen looked at Zhao Xian and smiled. Thank you for the 48-year-old Xiao Sheng, quadratic VC, 2 fishes, and the reward at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you to Xiao Sheng Nian Fang 48, Tais Hong Shang 1, running with a smile Y, Feng Xiao 2006 fans, Pai Wuzun, Sinful Orchid Finger, and Daos Hung 123 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1629. On New Year's Eve this year, Tan Shahan's family went to Splendid Home to have New Year's Eve dinner together. Lao Zhang and teacher Tan went to pick up Lao Lu and his wife. Xiaoshu and Yao Fen still ate at both ends, finishing early at Yao Fen's parents' place and rushing over here. Compared with last year, there are more people this year. Xiaoshu and Yao Fen's son, Yao Fen is holding it in his hand and is still sucking milk. When he gets here, Xiao Zhao's mother hugs him and is reluctant to let go. After Xiao Zhao's death, Zhang Xiangbei was in the United States and never came back. Finally, there was a new baby in the family, and everyone was very happy. After the Spring Festival, Lao Tan and MRS Tan will return to Yongcheng, and Xiangnan will also go to the newly established Yongchengwu Opera Troupe Co., Limited to officially report. Lu Ligan's mother found out and said enviously, "Why don't we go back to Yongcheng? There is nothing to do here, since there is nothing to do." Everyone felt a little sad when she said this, knowing that she was complaining about Lu Ligan, who disappeared as soon as she left. What is the difference between them having the son and not having the son? Tan Shahan quickly told them not to go back. Your newly constructed village was about to be demolished. She would have to move again not long after she returned. Old Lu was still sober. He said, "Don't go back, don't go back. If Xiao Wu and Zhang Chen go back, it will be inconvenient to deliver wine to me. You have to travel such a long way. Am I right, Zhang Chen?" Zhang Chen is right. Lu Ligan's mother glared at old Lu and cursed, "Jujujuju, what else do you know besides wine?" Lao Lu chuckled, "You still know how to drink." After eating until about 8 o'clock in the evening, Su Qiaxin came with her son in her arms. This year, Xiao Wu's father also came to Hangzhou to celebrate the new year. Xiao Wu and the others did not go back to Yongcheng. Seeing Su Qiaxin, Zhang Chen asked, "Where is Xiao?" "He put me down at the door and went to the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery to deliver food to Xiaojin," Su Qiaxin said. "No need to send it away. The Oil Painting Museum and the entire Gentian power plant have many people on duty today and there are unified arrangements," Zhang Chen said. "It's okay. He has to be on duty at night anyway, so he just left a few hours earlier," Su Qiaxin said. Zhang Chen felt he was full. He stood up and asked Xiaoshu, "I'm going to the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery to have a look. Will you go?" Xiaoshu said, "Go, I'll go see old Andy too." Zhang Chen looked at Lao Zhang, and Lao Zhang said it's okay. "You go, Master Lu, we'll see him off later." Yao Fen also wanted to go with them. There was no one in the oil painting gallery now. She also wanted to take a good look at Andy Warhol, but seeing her mother-in-law holding her son in her arms, she had no intention of giving it to her. Xiaoshu said, "Son, put it here and let's go." "What should I do if I need to breastfeed?" Yao Fen asked. Su Qiaxin said, "I can feed him, but if he eats my milk, he will no longer recognize you as his mother." "Then I'll give it to you," Yao Fen said. Su Qiaxin giggled, "If you are willing to let it go, even his grandma won't let it go." Xiao's mother said, "I'm willing to give it up and give it to you. Grandma is still grandma." Xiao Zhao's mother and Zhang Chen's mother both waved to let Xiao Shu and Yao Fen go. 3 people walked out. They arrived at the Gentian power plant. The Gentian power plant was very lively, the Dazhong market was crowded with people, and the pier was also overcrowded. They were all queuing up to wait for the cruise ship and to enjoy the Meisi River. Both sides of the Meisi River were decorated with lights and streamers, and there were a lot of tourists. The only riverside oil painting gallery that was bustling during the day was now dark. After the museum closed tonight, there were not even any media reporters. Everyone had gone back to celebrate the New Year's Eve, and the lights in the museum had been turned off. Xiao Wu and Xiao Jin were sitting at the gate on the first floor chatting. Zhang Chen asked Xiao Jin to turn on the lights in the museum. He, Xiao Shu, and Yao Fen separated after entering the museum, and each began to watch the exhibition quietly. The entire exhibition hall was silent. Zhang Chen walked slowly and could only hear his own footsteps. For a moment, he felt that Andy Warhol was so incompatible with such an environment. Andy Warhol is lively, and his works always have the hustle and bustle of a rickety city, which should not be so quiet. Zhang Chen arrived upstairs at the dynamic zone, walked through the small door, and walked to the e-commerce department in front. All other departments in the company were on holiday, except for the e-commerce department. On the contrary, they were still busy at this time. Not only the domestic Dobeo.com, but those who are on vacation or are still on the road have more time to browse the website for shopping. After they opened their stores on Amazon, the business was also quite booming, which was unexpected. Their expectations. At that time, there were not many people in China who directly went to Amazon to open a store. The items in their stores were much cheaper than those sold by sellers in the United States and Europe. Moreover, they still relied on their own foreign trade companies, with hundreds of there are multiple factories that do everything, so Xiaoli and the others opened 9 stores on Amazon. Zhang Chen walked into the door of the basketball stadium and saw that it was bustling inside. The large office area had dozens of people busy. The shelves were also brightly lit, and goods were picked up, packaged non-stop. Xiaoli and Li Wei saw him and came over quickly. After the holidays in the Gongchen Kiao factory, Xiaoli was here every day, taking turns with Li Wei on duty. After the Amazon store opened, the entire e-commerce department was running around the clock, and there were no interruptions. When business is interrupted. In the afternoon and evening, buyers on Diobao.com are most active, and in the second half of the night and morning, buyers on Amazon are most active. Zhang Chen asked how Xiaoli and Li Wei were doing, and they both said almost in unison, "I'm so busy." After saying that, the two looked at each other and smiled, and Zhang Chen also laughed with them. Xiaoli said, "We will be recruiting people right after the Spring Festival, especially for cross-border e-commerce. This is completely unexpected, and the growth is almost explosive." "Is it faster than Dabeo.com?" Zhang Chen asked. "Quick, much faster," Li Wei said. "I've already sucked a lot of people from there to Amazon, Kioxin, and I've almost sucked all the people there." She said she's almost turned into a polished commander. "There is no way, salesmen also like to do this," Xiaoli said. Zhang Chen was surprised and asked, "Why?" "Think about it, when doing that kind of foreign trade order, you have to negotiate and bargain back and forth, and you have to send samples for confirmation. From the beginning to the final confirmation, an order cannot be placed in half a month, and ordinary salesmen can't receive any big orders, which are tens of thousands of dollars. If you do this, you can complete an order in just a few minutes and the money will come in. It's so cool. Although the amount of the order is very small, only tens or hundreds of dollars, a salesperson can make dozens of orders a day, which adds up to a lot. Anyway, if you have worked here before, if you ask him to go back to work as a foreign trade salesman, he will not go back even to death," Xiaoli and Zhang Chen said. Zhang Chen nodded and understood. Zhang Chen asked Xiaoli, "Then you said earlier that Amazon's growth is faster than that of Dabeo.com. What's the reason?" "There is less competition," Xiaoli said. "There are more and more sellers on Dabeo.com, and there are more and more sellers of the same type. There are also many sellers who specifically imitate us. Whatever we sell, they will immediately imitate it, and if the price is lower than ours, it will definitely take away many of our customers. There are not many Chinese sellers on Amazon, and those foreign sellers cannot compete with us. There's nothing Zheng Huiyang can do about those imitations of ours," Zhang Chen asked. "Is there any way? There are no patents on clothing. Or we should register a patent for every piece of clothing and then provide them with the patent certificate so they can investigate and deal with it. It's bullshit. By the time the patent is applied for, this piece of clothing will be out of date already. If you give it to others to imitate, they won't want to imitate it," Zhang Chen said. "So, there's nothing they can do," Xiaoli said. "Also, our main products on Diobeo.com are clothing, mainly products from our own factories," Li Wei said. "On Amazon, we have everything, and the products are much richer than those on Dabeo.com. It is a foreign trade company focusing on the products we can provide, Sales will of course grow faster. Yes, this is also the reason Li Wei said. We have several stores selling similar things on Diabeo.com, while Amazon has 9 stores selling different things. We are also planning to open new stores, Xyli said. Mr. Zhang, we have a suggestion. What suggestions? Zhang Chen asked. We feel that the foreign trade company and the e-commerce department should be combined and then divided into one domestic department and one foreign department. Xyli said, this way the utilization rate of personnel will be higher. For Amazon, I estimate that we will soon have to rent a warehouse in the United States. We will have to export, document, and customs clearance ourselves. There is no need to add another set of people. Have you discussed this with Su Qiaxin? Zhang Chen asked. The three of us discussed it together, Xyli said. Qiaxin also said that if we go to the United States to set up a warehouse, she also wants to send salespeople to the United States, so that she can go there to develop customers. It has become a domestic trade business in the United States. She said she was also planning to recruit foreign salespeople locally, Li Wei said. Zhang Chen said, okay, since you have discussed it, we will decide this matter after that year. We don't want it to be after the new year. We can discuss it now. I'll call Qiaxin. It's New Year's Eve today and there's nothing to do. She won't be bored enough to watch the Spring Festival Gala at home with the old man and the old lady, Xyli said. Yes, call her over. What's there to see in the Spring Festival Gala? Li Wei said. Zhang Chen smiled and said, she is at my house, but now, she is probably watching the Spring Festival Gala with the old man and the old lady. There are a whole room of old men and old ladies in my house. Xyli giggled, then I will save her. As Xyli spoke, she called Su Qiaxin and told Su Qiaxin that Mr. Zhang was here. Let's discuss the merger and open a branch in the United States. When Su Qiaxin heard this, she said, I'll come over right away with my son. Oh, there's no car. Wait there, I'll come and pick you up, Xyli said. Thank you, Void Broken Dream, for your monthly ticket. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening, everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1630. Xyli walked out for 10 minutes, and when she came back, Su Qiaxin hugged her son and followed her. Everyone went to Zhang Chen's office and sat down on the sofa. There were 3 sofas in a X shape, forming a group. Su Qiaxin held her son in her arms. Xyli asked her to sit on the horizontal 3-person sofa with Li Wei, which was more spacious. She and Zhang Chen occupied the 2 single sofas at both ends. As soon as he sat down, the son in Su Qiaxin's arms started crying, and Xyli cursed. Su Qiaxin, can you tell this little troublemaker to stop crying? Su Qiaxin rolled her eyes at Xyli and cursed, come on, come and talk to him and see if he understands. Xyli really got closer, pointed at the baby and threatened, Xiao Xiao, don't cry. Xiao Xiao didn't pay attention to her. Guzi I was crying. Su Qiaxin kept shaking him, but he still kept crying. Seeing the threat, Xiao Li took out a red envelope from her pocket and waved it in front of Xiao Xiao Wu. Come on, Xiao Xiao Wu, Auntie is giving you a red envelope, please stop crying. Su Qiaxin snatched the red envelope and stuffed it between herself and the baby. Xyli stared at it, while Xiao was still crying to himself. If you speak English to him, he might be able to understand English, Li Wei said. Su Qiaxin really said to her son, don't make so much noise. In the end, it was still useless. Zhang Chen said, you can either tell him about Xiao and his hometown. Su Qiaxin said, oh, he is just hungry. You feed him when he's hungry, idiot, Xyli scolded. Su Kioxin looked at Jiang Chen and said in embarrassment, "How to feed him? He will eat for an hour. If you take it away, he will cry even more." Xiaoli knew that Jiang Chen was with her, so she was embarrassed and cursed. "Damn it, there's nothing to be ashamed of when a woman breastfeeds. The women in our village will breastfeed in front of 10,000 people, but you still say Yingli Xian, you have such conservative ideas." Jiang Chen and Li Wei laughed. Su Kioxin blushed. Li Wei said, just turn around, you can discuss things with us while breastfeeding." Su Kioxin heard the truth, and actually took off her down jacket, turned around, turned her back to Jiang Chen, lifted up her clothes, and fed her son breast milk. Xiao Xiao took it in his mouth and sucked it hard. "Sure enough, stop crying." Xiaoli let out a long breath. "Okay, finally the world is at peace." Everyone started to talk about the merger. Xiaoli and Jiang Chen said, merging the foreign trade company, sales department and e-commerce department together will be called the sales center. It will be divided into two departments, one domestic and one foreign. Call the international department, Su Kioxin said. "Okay, let's call it the international department," Xiaoli said. "The domestic department is responsible for Doubao.com, as well as the shopping malls and specialty stores that still sell our clothes. The international department handles Amazon's business and Kioxin and others. Now the business is combined, so that all our sales, whether domestic or foreign, are integrated into one department. All salesmen can be used together. Doubao.com and Amazon can also learn from each other. There are many sales skills and methods that can be used for reference," Su Kioxin said. Jiang Chen said, "Yes, I agree to the merger. After the merger, Kioxin will be the general manager of the sales center and I will be the deputy general manager," Xiaoli said. Su Kioxin quickly said, "You came to the company relatively early. You will be the general manager and I will be the deputy general manager. Damn it, is this something that happened a long time ago?" Xiaoli scolded, "But after the domestic and foreign trade are combined, you will understand the domestic trade if you study it. It is not difficult. I don't speak a word of English about foreign trade. How can I manage it? Don't push it, just do it in this way. You will be the general manager and I will be the vice president, who will also be in charge of the factory. Our own factory and the factories below are under unified management. Li Wei will be the general manager within the country, and you will be in charge of the international department. You just need to concentrate on making sales. All other things, such as placing orders and QC, will be left to me. This way we will have a unified standard both internally and externally." Jiang Chen thought for a while and felt that what Xiaoli said made sense. Jiang Chen said, "Okay, that's it. Kioxin, you and Xiaoli are both vice presidents of the group. When you get to the sales center, you will arrange it as Xiaoli said. I believe you will cooperate well." Yes, no, I'll beat this bastard to death," Xiaoli said. Su Kioxin turned around and glared at her. Xiaoli smiled and said, "You can beat me to death too." After the merger, the foreign trade warehouse on the second floor here was moved to the basketball stadium. The original foreign trade warehouse was used as the domestic office, and the original foreign trade company's office was changed to the international department. "This space is more than enough," Xiaoli said. Jiang Chen agreed. "Also, a freight elevator needs to be installed in the parking lot. It is not for merchants to use. It is for our own use. Now there are too many goods coming in and out every day, especially after Amazon started. Every day, the goods from the factory below are shipped to us. Here, if we send it out again, there are too many things." Xiaoli said that. Jiang Chen said yes, and it would be arranged after the Spring Festival. "Okay, I've finished talking about everything. Next, Mr. Su, it's your turn to talk to Mr. Zhang about opening a branch in the United States." Xiaoli clapped her hands and said. Su Kioxin said yes, and she habitually wanted to turn around. She moved her body, thought of it, and immediately turned back. The other 3 people all laughed. Xylee said, "I just want to talk about things like this and choke you to death. Who told you to have a child? Hey, hey, hey." Sukioxen stuck out his tongue at her and made a face. Sukioxen turned her back and said to Zhang Chen, "I have calculated our Amazon shipment volume now. It's about 2 small containers in 3 days, all by express delivery. The express company has made a lot of money. This freight, whether it is paid by the buyer or the seller, is included in the cost. Either weakening the competitiveness of our products, or making us less money. This is still the case now. Going forward, we will definitely have several cabinets a day, which is not cost-effective," Xylee said. "In addition to the uneconomical shipping costs, there is also time. People who buy things online want to receive them right away. Now, some of our items are cheaper than local sellers in the United States even with shipping costs, but because we transport if the time is too long, some buyers would rather choose the more expensive one," Li Wei said. Zhang Chen didn't understand. He said, "What we deliver now is express delivery, and others use air transport. Is it faster than our own sea transport? Not all goods are shipped by air. Some of their express delivery companies also ship by sea, even by air, because they need to be consolidated and then transported layer by layer, and the efficiency of customs clearance is low. It also takes a long time to get it to the customer." "Half a month," Sukioxen said. "Is half a month enough for us?" "I remember it seems like it's not enough," Zhang Chen said. "Enough," Sukioxen said. "If we own both ends and declare and clear customs by ourselves, the express ship from Shanghai to the west coast of the United States will only take 9 to 10 days. In this way, the goods we arrive at the dock can be packed and shipped on the same day. Received it and shipped it on the same day, using domestic express, it only took about half a month to reach the buyer. This is still a seasonal product, a small batch product. If it is a regular large batch product, such as stationery, gifts, and Christmas supplies, we can send it to our warehouse in advance. When the buyer places an order, we will send it directly from the goods are shipped from the US warehouse, which is similar to what we do at home on Fotobao.com, and it only takes a few days to arrive, so we will be competitive. Not only do we save on shipping costs, but in our own warehouse, we can control the inventory. According to the inventory, we ship goods in advance, so that we can ensure that regular products are not in stock," Xylee said. "To put it bluntly, there is nothing it's amazing. Cross-border e-commerce eliminates borders and is the same as selling goods in China." Zhang Chen nodded and asked, "Sukioxen, you said earlier that both ends are ours. What do you mean?" "There are warehouses in the United States, and we also rent a warehouse in Shanghai port. Most of our things now are produced by the following manufacturers. They send them to us first, and then we ship them. After there is a warehouse in Shanghai port, we let they are sent directly to the Shanghai warehouse, where we consolidate the boxes," Sukioxen said. "This improves efficiency." Zhang Chen said, "Yes, your idea is very good. I also want to move our foreign trade company to the United States," Sukioxen said. "What do you mean?" Zhang Chen asked. "We currently have 2 types of customers, one is like Target, who sells goods directly, and the other is an intermediary. After we have a company there, we ourselves become intermediaries and deal directly with them for the local market," Sukioxen said. "Let's try this first. If it succeeds in the United States, we will open it in Europe and Japan." Zhang Chen thought about it and felt that their plan was very good. The most important thing was that he believed that they could do it well. Besides, so what if they couldn't do it well? Just treat it as paying the tuition, and he would also pay the tuition. Affordable. Zhang Chen said to them, "Okay, your idea is very good. Start preparing after the holiday. This kind of thing should be done sooner rather than later. First, if it is late, competition will be fierce when others do it.
And the most important thing is, no matter what, a new company always needs a certain running-in period. If we wait until the business is very busy, we will be in a hurry. At this point in time, we are not too busy to do it. It just so happens that even if something goes wrong, we still have the energy to make adjustments. Yes, Mr. Zhang, you are great, we knew you would support us, Xylee exclaimed excitedly. Zhang Chen smiled and asked, by the way, have you thought about where the American company will be located? Los Angeles, Su Qiaxin said. Los Angeles, Zhang Chen was surprised, why not New York? Oh, are you? Su Qiaxin turned around in excitement, and a ball of white flowers flashed in front of Zhang Chen's eyes. Zhang Chen shouted I'm going, and quickly turned around. Xylee and Li Wei laughed so much that they fell down. Go down. Su Qiaxin woke up, her face turned red instantly, she turned around and said. Los Angeles is the west coast of the United States, and New York is the east coast of the United States. To get from east to west to Los Angeles, it takes 9 to 10 days by express ship. Once it arrives, it will be sent by land express. If you go to New York, you have to go through the Panama Canal, which takes 20 days at the fastest. 3 days, do you understand? I understand, as long as you don't turn around suddenly, Zhang Chen said. Thank you for the reward, even though I didn't know anyone who asked me, but I caught 2 fishes at one end and at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you Shwemu, Chnomas. LHB, Hydrogen Oxide Disinfection Knowledge Bureau, and Zonkai 727 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1631. Zhang Chen originally said that after the Lunar New Year, he would start merging the Foreign Trade Company and the e-commerce department on the 9th day of the Lunar New Year. Unexpectedly, several women could not wait any longer. The next day, the first day of the Lunar New Year, they began to move. Xylee also ran down and called several security guards from the M-Zone to help. Together with dozens of people from their e-commerce department, it took 2 days to move the foreign trade warehouse upstairs to the front and move the e-commerce department in front. Those salesmen moved upstairs. When Zhang Chen returned to the company in his 3rd year of junior high school, he was surprised to find that they had already moved their homes, and several departments had been merged. Before the company issued a formal appointment letter, Su Qiaxin and Xylee took up their posts themselves, and waited until the foreign trade people from the company came to work on the 8th day of the lunar month and found that the foreign trade company was no longer there. They were people from the international department of the sales center. But externally, the brand of the foreign trade company is still retained. Otherwise, even the import and export licenses will have to be replaced, and the contracts that have been signed with customers and factories will also have to be re-signed. After the Spring Festival, on the 9th day of the Lunar New Year, almost everyone was busy. They were busier than ever before, and Zhang Chen really felt like starting a business for the second time. Xiao Wu went to Jibao's logistics base, where construction had already started. When Huo called him, he had already arrived in Tianjin. Zhang Chen felt that Huo was a bit weak in Tianjin by himself, so he asked Xiao Jin to help. Xiao Jin was so happy when he heard that he finally didn't have to go to the factory every day and do those guerrilla jobs. Zhang Chen called him over and said to him, "You are not allowed to cause trouble when you go to Tianjin, do you hear that? What if someone comes to trouble us, brother Zhang Chen?" Xiao Jin asked. "You can fight back, but you have to be careful," Zhang Chen said. Xiao Jin scratched his head and said, "If this fist goes out, it will be difficult to control the timing. Then don't fight back. Whatever happens to you, leave it to the second-rate guy to handle," Zhang Chen said. "Then what if the bastard gets beaten up, or someone he asks me to beat up?" "You can take action with this," Zhang Chen said. Xiao Jin giggled,
And Zhang Chen scolded, "You are so damn long-winded, are you just unable to control your fists and want to find something to do when you have nothing to do? What if? This way, you don't have to go." "No, no, brother Zhang Chen, I'm definitely not looking for trouble," Xiao Jin said quickly. "If you disobey or cause trouble, I will transfer you back immediately and you will never have a chance to go out again. Do you understand?" Zhang Chen asked Xiao Jin. Xiao Jin said, "Okay, I understand, brother Zhang Chen." When Xiao went to Tianjin, Zhang Chen asked Xiao Sheng to be a driver for Xiao Li and pick her up every day. Xiao Li said, "No, no, it was a waste of a person. I can just drive here and there by myself. I want whatever driver I want." Zhang Chen ignored her, and Xiao Li had no choice but to accept it. Su Qiaxin and Ji Yiling went to the US Consulate General in Shanghai to apply for a visa on the 7th day of the lunar month. They submitted the application and the visa came out the next day. Zhang Chen was surprised and asked Su Qiaxin, "Why was it so fast? It was impossible? Are there no applicants during the Spring Festival?" Su Qiaxin giggled, "No, the Consulate General does as the Romans do, and it's only the 8th day of the lunar month that it's the 8th day of the lunar month." Zhang Chen was even more surprised. "Then what did you do yesterday?" "Go and submit the application materials. If you don't go to work, who will you leave it to?" "Visa officer." "The visa officer is your father, and he still accepts your documents on his day off." "Yeah, the visa officer is not my father, but his father asked him to collect our information." Su Qiaxin giggled. "What the hell?" Zhang Chen asked. "Boss, if you need to apply for a visa next time, I will help you get it." Su Qiaxin kept it secret and refused to tell Zhang Chen what was going on. Ji Yiling couldn't bear it anymore and said to Zhang Chen, "Master, Qiaxin knows the Consul General." Zhang Chen suddenly realized that when the Andy Warhol Works exhibition opened, the US Consul General in Shanghai came to Hangzhou, and Su Qiaxin accompanied him the whole time. No wonder she knew him. She said that the visa officer's father refers to this Consul General. Zhang Chen said, "Yes, great, Su Qiaxin, I don't need your help. Next time Zhang Xiangbei's grandparents are going to the United States, you can help them get visas. They are too old and were refused the visa last time." Su Qiaxin said yes and would leave it to me when the time comes. Zhang Chen thought about it and asked Su Qiaxin, "Have you long thought about going to the United States and deliberately got close to others to build a good relationship?" Su Qiaxin just smiled and didn't say anything. It was Zhang Chen's suggestion that Ji Yiling and Su Qiaxin go to the United States. Firstly, Su Qiaxin had a companion. Secondly, Zhang Chen and Ji Yiling said that as designers, you can't work behind closed doors. You have to see what the customers like. Su Qiaxin this time when going to the United States, in addition to renting a warehouse to set up a company, she also needs to inspect the market. You should accompany her to inspect the market. Going with the two of them, there was also a girl from the Foreign Trade Company. She studied in the United States. She just came back last year and her residence permit had not expired. Su Qiaxin was going to let her go back to the United States and take charge of the American company. Here in Shanghai, they are not in a hurry. Huo has already inquired for help and said that the warehouse rental in Shanghai port is not tight and is available at any time. If it is not possible, we can put the forced raising ones in our own warehouse. Huo and Zhang Chen and Su Qiaxin said. Chiao Xian thought about it and said that it was right. It would be better to put it in my own warehouse. After the boxes are assembled here, the container truck will come and take them directly to the dock. There is not much road. I can also save manpower. Some positions and tasks can be directly handled by the second manager. It's enough to be both people. Sun Ho called Zhang Chen and said that he had found a piece of land for him in Chenyi, Beijing. Su Wenhui also called Zhang Chen and told him that he had also found land for him in Wuhan. Li Yang and Zhang Chen said that he was in Lishui helped Zhang Chen secure more than 700 acres of warehousing land. Lishui originally wanted to build itself into a logistics center, and Zhang Chen's project coincided with theirs. Tan Shahen asked Zhang Chen, "Can you swallow so many logistic spaces at once?" Zhang Chen said, "I have thought about this matter, and I will spend it until all the money is spent. When I have spent it, I will stop. When I have money, I will buy another one. Anyway, I won't do anything else. I just look for the logistic space. One thing, I think it is the most uneconomical thing to spend money on now, and fortunately, as soon as this logistic space is opened, there will be water flowing in every day, so there is no need to worry about running out of money. There is no need to make a large secondary investment. Its operating costs are completely affordable, and there is still a balance." Tan Shahen thought about it and it made sense. She asked Zhang Chen, "How many more can you do now?" "It shouldn't be a problem to make another 20 or so," Zhang Chen said. Tan Shahen was startled, and she shouted, "Zhang Chen, if this is the case, you will have more than 20,000 acres of land across the country. You can be a standard landlord." Zhang Chen was right. People who come from the mountains can probably only be landlords, but it is more practical to be a landlord. Tan Shahen nodded and said, "The risk of your approach is indeed very low. Your company's assets are basically land. The land is definitely increasing in value, and if you want to cash it out, it will be quick. Okay, I support it. You, let all our branches below help you find land everywhere." Zhang Chen said yes, and he himself was full of confidence. When it came time to really do something, his celebrity effect came out. He felt that no matter where, as long as there was land, he would go and talk in person, and it would basically go smoothly. The last time he and Sun Ho went to Tianjin, the court in Tianjin not only looked at Sun Ho's face, but also knew Zhang Chen when they met him. They were very enthusiastic and willing to help him. As for Zhang Chen, he just drew a few random landscapes and gave them to others. When they got them, they were happier than receiving any gifts. Zhang Chen never thought that one day, he would become his own stepping stone. On the 10th day of the lunar month, Zhang Chen and Tan Shahen will go to Yongcheng to hold a meeting for all the staff of the Yongcheng Wu Opera Troupe and the theater. They will also give out red envelopes and treat everyone to a meal. They will also welcome Xiang Nan and other new actors and actresses. Luthier. On National Day, Zhang Chen will go to Beijing, Wuhan, and Nanjing. In addition to matters in the company, Lu Qing also called Zhang Chen and asked him to confirm as soon as possible his schedule to go abroad to film the story of painting this year, and also to confirm the follow-up filming of one person's history of oil painting. Zhang Chen felt that he was really too busy and couldn't even find time to go around Sanya and CCAO Minfang and the others. The banquet of Yongcheng Wu Opera Troupe Performance Co., Limited was held in the banquet hall of Huanglong Moon Bay Hotel. Ding Begu came not as the director, but as a family member. Ding Begu sat at the same table as Zhang Chen, Tan Shahen, Feng Logui, Teacher Wu, Teacher Su, Su Jianmei, and Xiang Nan, as well as Lao Qiu, the former manager of the theater and now the company's deputy general manager. Before the others could speak, Su Jianmei stood up first, raised her cup and said to Zhang Chen and Tan Shahen, "Zhang Chen, Zhen, I'm really happy to see so many newcomers and our student class is now doing well. When did our Wu Opera Troupe ever have such a prosperous population? Don't acting, seeing so many people, is enough to make people happy." Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Su Jianmei, these people are here, but they are all your opponents." Su Jianmei looked at Ding Begu and said with a smile, "I am already an old woman. No matter what opponent I am, why should I fight?" Su Jianmei and Xiang Nan said, Nan, I told you when we were in Sanya. If your mother comes back and I am not convinced, I will still fight with her. If you come and auntie is convinced, I will be a green leaf for you. Then Bai Sohan is yours." Xiang Nan quickly said, "Thank you, Aunt Jianmei." "Not necessarily," Zhang Chen said, "there are other newcomers. Xiangnan, I'm not sure whether you can be Bai Sohan. We all have to compete together." Xiang Nan agreed to ask Teacher Wu to check who is more capable. Teacher Wu smiled and said, "Okay, I will strictly control the situation and not favor any of you. Come on, let's have a toast." Ding Begu greeted everyone, and everyone stood up, drank, and drank. Zhang Chen's cell phone rang. He looked at it and saw that it was Xili. Xili set out from Hangzhou with them today and separated at the Yongcheng Expressway exit. She and Xiaosheng continued to Zhao Zhigang's place along the Hangzhijing Expressway. Now the company's order placement has been transferred from Su Qiaxin to her. Today she is going to discuss with Zhao Zhigang and the others about target's shipment after the year. Zhang Chen waved to everyone, stood up, walked to the side, and pressed the answer button. "Boss, where are you?" Xili asked. Zhang Chen said, "I am still in Yongcheng." "Oh, that's okay. I was afraid that you would go back to Hangzhou." "Boss, can you come to Zhongshan tomorrow?" Xili asked. "What's wrong, Xili?" "There's some trouble here." "What trouble?" I can't tell you clearly on the phone. Zhao Zhigang is with me, you can tell me when you get here." Zhang Chen didn't know whether Xili really couldn't explain, or whether it was because Zhao Zhigang was nearby and it was inconvenient to say. But Xili called him, and Zhang Chen knew that it was definitely not a trivial matter, otherwise she could handle it by herself, and there was no need for her to do so. "Take a trip?" Zhang Chen thought for a moment and asked, "Xiao Li, will Zhao Zhigang and the others work overtime tonight?" "Ad. Okay, I'll finish here later and come over in the evening," Zhang Chen and Xiao Li said. "Okay, boss, we're waiting for you." "Thank you Quadratic VC for the reward. Thank you for your monthly votes from Pialing Yau, Taizongshang 1, Yunlong Frogfish, and Robin Granite. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone."